Political streamers on Twitch are a well-known disaster at this point. I think that pretty much everyone there doing political content is a complete troglodyte.
Where's the... You guys are missing a category for Zionist. I was a judge.
But I think Denims really takes the cake as probably the second worst political streamer, behind only the great man himself, Hasan Piker. She seemingly cannot stop lying about other people, lying about their positions, and anytime she's confronted with any criticism, she'll immediately shrug it off and just lie about it. And honestly, it's very embarrassing. Notice how when he's talking, she has nothing to say. She just sits there with her arms crossed, trying to come up with some kind of argument, but she has nothing.
Dude, these people are such fucking liars, dude.
You know, this is honestly completely detached from her politics. She's just a bad person, and she's really funny to laugh at. So today, we're gonna do it together. Video about Denims by Rob's Media. Let's check it out.
Oh, let's bring up the next guest. Denims, the #1 political woman on Twitch.
I'm moving.
The #1 political woman on Twitch is Denims. All right, well, you know, I've talked about her negatively before, but hey, you know, I don't know a lot about her. You know, we're gonna learn about her today. Who knows? Maybe she's actually good. Maybe she is the best political spokeswoman. Do not say spokesman, spokeswoman on all of Twitch. All right, she could be. She could be. You guys don't know. You guys are just casting judgments saying you don't like her. You don't know anything about her. We're learning about her.
I'm getting less and less famous.
So last time I covered Denims, I said I'd only make a part 3 if something big happened. And well, something big did happen. She became involved in one of the biggest scandals in Twitch history, revolving around massive political biases, alleged anti-Semitism, and more. This would lead to Denims being suspended for an entire month. Though now that she's unbanned, I want to examine how this has impacted her entire reputation. Before I explain how she got banned, I think it's best to review her past for those uninitiated. So Denims is someone I've covered before on this channel, though if you haven't seen those 2 videos, I think it's good to give a recap. Denims is a political streamer who started out in Destiny's community. The two would stop associating with each other in late 2019, due to some catty high school cheer drama. She started sucking up to Hasan Piker for clout, essentially becoming a waiting room streamer for him. Her support of Hasan has gotten her into many controversies.
Isn't it weird how literally every fucking political streamer, anyone who has ever been a streamer that does politics, is connected to Destiny in some way? It's like I can't avoid it. Even in like dramas that are unrelated to him, seemingly. He's involved in some way. Like the Mr. Girl video. It all goes back to Destiny, okay? At the end of it, you know, for like a good 10 minutes there of that video that I made, Mr. Girl was involved. And then with, even with Narcissa Wright, who I'm making a video about, who was like a speedrunner, not even in the political community at all. She also talked to Destiny, and it's important enough that I have to mention it in the video because of what happened in the conversation. It's like, there's so much. He's connected everywhere for some reason. I can't escape him. I can't escape him, okay? He's inescapable. Sup, dude, how are you feeling? I'm doing good. Or like, you know, Hasan came from Destiny's community initially, and then they split off. Vosh, the same with him, right? He's like a monster spawner. He is kind of like a monster spawner. Thank you, Holy Joe, for becoming a member.
Like when she feuded with JXE over their video essay on reaction content. She did this to defend Hasan's lazy reaction content, as well as her own, though this led her to making an ass of herself.
And if all of these things and any other alternative all seem like they're too much effort, then sucks to be you. Take some pride in your work. Holy shit.
I remember this video. Now, I could be wrong, but from what I remember, JXE's problem was basically not that people react to his stuff. It was that they react to it and say nothing and then post that to YouTube with no commentary. Like, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with reaction content. There was kind of a wave of, I mean, obviously I'm doing it, right? So, you know, who am I to say? But there was a big wave of like, you know, all reactions are bad or whatever. You can't do that. And I disagree with that. You know, most Asmongold reactions I've seen are actually good. And realistically speaking, if you're going to watch Asmon's video, you're watching it for him, not for the content he's reacting to. Because if you wanted to watch the original content, you would just go watch that, right? Like if you see an Asmon video and it's in your recommended, you click on it, you see the video he's watching, you're like, oh, I'd rather watch that. You can just do that. But instead, people like to watch Asmon's reaction because he does, to his credit, add a lot to what, you know, he's reacting to. Like if we go to Asmongold TV, right? Let's see here, for example. Let's pick a video that's a clear reaction video, right? So this one's called This Is Going to Be Very Weird. 26-minute reaction. The original video is 14 minutes long. So he more than doubled, well, not more than doubled. He basically doubled the length of the content through his reaction because he had a lot to say. And I think that's the right way to do it. You know, to me, the thing that I don't like is that, you know, there are people like Hasan who will just let a video play while they eat and say nothing about it, right? Which is why when I have a video on stream that someone will recommend and I don't have anything to say about it, I just put it off screen because I don't have anything to say, you know? And like, I want it to be my content. I don't want to just sit and literally rip someone else's content, freeboot it, right? I want to say something about it. This is too atastic. True, it is. Is that Hank Green? yes, this is Hank Green. Asmongold does comment a lot. Unfortunately, his commentary is not very enlightening in my opinion. I mean, it might not be the most enlightening thing in the world, but he's still giving his commentary and opinions, right? But realistically, when he's done so many reactions, he's probably rerunning a lot of what he has to say at this point, you know, to an extent. I don't even mind letting the video play and stream as long as that doesn't get uploaded to YouTube later. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if it's a bad reaction and it's just on stream, then it's just a watch party, right? But if you put it on YouTube, then it's like, you know, I don't know that it's necessarily like the worst, most egregious. Like, I don't know if it's stealing views in the algorithm. I don't know the analytics behind that, but it is just like a shitty thing to do if you say nothing. It's bad content.
You don't get to just take something someone else made.
What does take pride in your work mean? I don't know.
Her debate with Jay and later response made her look like a dipshit, so she made a twit longer ranting about all the hate and saying she deleted a bunch of her videos. Later in 2022, she sided with Xander Hall and Demon Mama, where they downplayed Balenciaga's actions to discredit Shoe on Head. She befriended Anissa Jomha, the greatly disliked wife.
No way. I didn't know they were buddies. What? She's friends with Anissa, as in iDubbbz Anissa? Oh, and Casey Tron, dude. This is a panel of like the greatest fucking people of all time. You've got Anissa Jomha, the architect of iDubbbz's downfall, Denims, and Casey Tron. Like, it's like the three most unlikable people I've ever seen in my life are all here. Nightmare Blunt rotation? I mean, literally. This is just like this is a very dark place to be in. Imagine being in a room with all three of these people. Like, how do you even interact at that point? How do you go on with your life if this is the three people you're around? I wonder if any of them have ever woken up and been like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Why do I suck so bad?
Wife of iDubbbz, and called Froggy Fresh a Nazi to defend her honor.
He was just posting Nazi shit. Okay? I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how else to explain it other than he was posting Nazi shit. And I'm going to say it.
I know Froggy Fresh and I had our little spat where he didn't like what I said about him. I don't think I was being that mean, but I mean, from what I remember at this point in time, I don't think that Froggy Fresh posted any Nazi shit. It's particularly telling that she's saying, like, I don't even know how to explain it, and then she just doesn't explain it. It's like, well, shouldn't you explain it if he's posting Nazi stuff? What did he say that was so bad? What did he say that was so fucking bad? Is the joke he made about Anissa Jomha, is that the Nazi shit?
Honestly, I'm going to say, good on them for kicking him from the fight. You shouldn't have spaces that are welcoming to Nazis.
To Nazis? Really? He's just not a Nazi, dude. He's just not. He makes music on YouTube. Just a silly guy. At this point, I feel like these people say these insanely stupid, ridiculous takes just to get attention. The thing is, they don't. Like, they are, I mean, everybody online is, you know, trying to do it for attention to some level, right? Like, you're trying to be heard, you're trying to be seen, you're trying to get your content witnessed by the greater ecosystem, right? To an extent, but like, it's not like they're baiting or being insincere. Like, when Frogan says something stupid, when she said what she said about soldiers, she did mean that. She did 1000% mean that. When Denims says, you know, whatever she says about Asmongold or whoever else, like, she does mean it. This is not like some ironic thing that she's just saying for attention. She means everything she says, even if it's quote unquote a joke. The jokes do have real, you know, intent behind them, usually.
She got her first Twitch ban in November 2023 after she read Osama bin Laden's manifesto.
I wonder what she thinks Nazis are. Probably anyone who's like slightly to the right of being a communist. Like, if you're like, you know, a socialist, then you're a Nazi. If you're a liberal, you're a Nazi. If you're a centrist, you're a Nazi. If you're a right winger, you're definitely, all of you are Nazis. 1000%. Every conservative is a Nazi to her.
Live on air. Not just that, but she wasn't really pushing back on it at all and said America deserved 9/11.
America deserved 9/11. I can't disavow facts, man. I can't disavow reality. That's not how that works, bro. Like,
this ban only lasted a day. What really got her in hot water was when she put a 30K.
So she's just copying Hasan's take. The thing is, once again, like, if your take is that, you know, I've said this before, if your take is that, like, America meddling in the Middle East, you know, in like the 70s, 80s, 90s, right, fucking around over there, caused a lot of geopolitical tensions that ultimately partially led to what happened on September 11th. I think that is, like, you can make that take in like an informed way, but to say America deserved 9/11 is retarded, because the people who were fucking around in the 80s were like the CIA, high-ranking like government officials, special ops, you know, generals, right? People like that. The people in the World Trade Center were just working. They were just working there. They didn't do anything. They're just normal civilians. They didn't deserve to get bombed. They didn't deserve to have their lives ruined, you know, to have their family members wake up, you know, and have to come to terms with the fact that they're never going to see that person again, you know? They were all capitalist time. You don't get it? Yeah. Okay.
K bounty on Grums back in April of this year.
listen, I'll up the number, okay? 30K to anyone who'll make this dipshit disappear and make Eve's breasts bigger. Okay, you have to do both.
This is obviously meant as a joke, though it's unfunny as fuck, and she's bashed others for making joke death threats. This is when I started covering her antics. As I watched a
Yeah, I mean, to give her a little bit of leeway there, that was like, it's obviously not a serious threat. You know, she's not actually telling someone in the audience to do that. And if someone in the audience did do that, I don't think I would like want to hold her responsible because someone crazy in the audience did, you know, carry out some kind of murder. Because she is making a joke at the end of the day, right? Like people joke about, haha, the president all the time. They're not, you know, responsible if someone actually does that because they're not going to do that if they're of sound mind. But what I will say is that she is definitely a hypocrite. You know, she's definitely called out people on the right. Like, I mean, I guess Sam Hyde is a decent example, right? For like, you know, making joking threats about Hasan Piker. And meanwhile, it's, you know, not okay when he does it, but it is okay when she does it. It's a blatant double standard. What has she paid them though? I doubt she has $30,000 to pay someone for that, to be honest. She's not a big enough streamer.
a stream from January where she defends the idea of teenage boys watching softcore on Twitch. She strawmans detractors as prudes, though I bet she mainly defends this shit because she herself does softcore on OnlyFans and Fansly. Denims also defended Keffals after Mudahara of Some Ordinary Gamers released a damning video on her. She admits to never watching the video and only focuses on the thumbnail, trying to label it as transphobic.
Well, the reason why she doesn't care about softcore being viewed by kids is because every stream she does, she has her fucking, you know, her shirt pulled down all the way. But yeah, I think that, you know, I think that's definitely why she's, you know, having a complaint about that. She thinks she would be banned in the future. You know, she's just, you know, holding it out for herself. And her defenses of Mudahar were absolutely insane, by the way. Sorry, not defenses of Mudahar. Her defenses of Keffals were absolutely insane. They were completely retarded. Like, she wouldn't even engage with the actual content. She wouldn't engage with what Keffals did when Keffals was, like, literally running a website that was sending minors, or she was contributing financially to a website that was sending minors bathtub HRT, which is a disgusting thing to do. And that's like 1% of Keffal's shit, apart from the GoFundMe scam, stuff like that. That's 1% of it. Not only did she refuse to acknowledge it, her only response was like, this is a transphobic thumbnail, which, like, people make people look ugly in thumbnails all the time. Like, that's what everybody does. Like, if you're making a commentary video, are you going to try to make them look as flattering as possible? Probably not. You're going to try to make them look ugly. But as soon as it's a trans person, it's transphobic. It's like, not really. How anyone defends Keffals is mind-blowing. Well, the thing is, there's no actual, like, argument you can make to defend Keffals that makes you look good. You have to lie. If you're going to defend them, you have to lie. Is Sam Hyde a PDF file? I've seen some shit, but I don't know if it has any merit. I mean, I've seen, like, you know, those rumors spreading around on Twitter and shit like that, but I've just never really gotten into covering it because it doesn't look like there's enough to, you know, talk about. And I don't want to be involved in a story where I accidentally make some false allegation, but, you know, I've seen those claims, you know, roaming around. Innocent until proven guilty is the take you got to have with that.
She would also downplay the Ava Chris Tyson situation a few months later, equating that her actions are just edgy jokes at worst. Denims has a habit of defending or downplaying the actions of very awful people, and that's due to this team sports mentality. If someone's left-leaning, and better yet, trans, then she has to make them look as innocent as possible. She's been pretty upfront about her bias, even saying this during her Keffal stream.
My perspective is, I don't like to spend my time going after other people that are on the left, right? And that's just because I think my time is better spent making fun of people on the right.
But it's like, if that's the perspective you want to have, fair enough. But, like, you're also defending Keffals. Like, you're not just, like, ignoring it. You're not being like, all right, I'm not going to talk about it. I don't want to get into it. You're, like, going out of your way to defend her. Like, that is what you're doing. You're protecting her from allegations made against her that are extremely damning. Like, if you're a leftist and your goal is to push leftist ideology and you don't want to shit on other left-wingers because of that, I think that's dumb. I think you should be willing to excise people from your political party and not sweep for them if those people are horrible people, because it makes your movement look bad, especially considering one of the biggest criticisms of the right of trans people is, oh, they're grooming minors, right? They're grooming minors into being trans. And that is, unironically, what Keffals wants to do. So, like, you know, if you don't want to call that person out, then you should just shut the fuck up and not defend them whatsoever. There's no defense you can give for this individual.
You guys can disagree, and I'm not saying that no one should ever do this, and I'm not saying that I think it's bad to do this. I'm saying I don't like to spend my time fighting with people who are saying that they're on the left.
Last time I talked about her, I went over her hatred of Ethan Klein, which seems to stem from the fallout of the Leftovers podcast. She has taken every opportunity to go after Ethan, and labels him a Zionist.
No one said that. Literally, no one said that. I saw people call him a Zionist piece of shit. That's true. But that has nothing to do with whether or not you're a boss.
Like, I'm not the most politically informed person, but I watched a decent amount of Ethan Klein content for, you know, in regards to the Palestine thing, the Israel-Palestine conflict, because he's been so wrapped up in it. And nothing he said has made me think that he is, like, a Zionist, especially in the way that she the way that she is meaning the term Zionist to be, which is the idea that, Israel has a right to steamroll every fucking country around it and bomb the hell out of them like that. I don't think he said anything like that. He's just said, like, I don't think that Israelis should die either. Like, he doesn't like to see, Israeli children getting the hell bombed out of them, right? Like, that's the majority of what I've seen him say. I could be wrong, but that's the majority of what I've seen him say. So it's like, I don't know. It's just an embarrassing take from her. But I think, that's her entire thing, right? I doubt she's heard any of Ethan's takes. People like this are just parrots. I mean, she parrots what Hasan says for sure, 1000%. She watches Hasan. She hears that Hasan had this take, and she has to approve that because she is one of these streamers that waits around to see when Hasan isn't streaming. And if he is live, dude, if Hasan is live, you'll never catch any of these people live ever. There's these streamers that exist, and it must be such a hit to their ego because they exist, and anytime like a bigger guy goes live and they notice a little bit of a drop in viewership, they stop streaming. And it seems so embarrassing. Like, you realize if you just stream through it, you'll eventually accumulate an audience of people who will watch you regardless of that, right? Like, realistically, if you just stream through that time period, initially you'll suffer from viewership, loss. But if you're actually a good streamer, you'll accumulate an audience of people that will watch you regardless. Like when Nick Diorio and I stream, right, around the same time, we're not like shutting down our streams because there's only enough people to go around for one stream, because we have our own audiences we've built up over time. You can actually do that. You can do that. But a lot of people are just like, they're too insecure about seeing the view count go lower. I'm gooning to this right now. Nice.
Boss, right?
She doesn't like how critical Ethan is of Hasan's radical audience, and her response is to be even more radical, leading to this drama escalating.
The Arabs Twitch panel.
On October 14th, 2024, Twitch streamer Asmongold makes some very controversial comments while discussing the Israel-Palestine conflict.
These people would be the ones doing the genociding if they had the power. They would be doing it. Their laws currently enable them to do it. If you want to consider a genocide as a systematic killing of a group of people, they have genocide built into Sharia law right now. So no, I'm not going to cry a fucking river when people who have genocide that's baked into their laws are getting genocided. I don't give a fuck. They're terrible people.
A big issue people have.
As we went off the tracks here, yeah, I think the biggest problem is just painting Muslims with such a broad brush as if they all adhere to the most strict aspects of Sharia law, right? Or like all Palestinians adhere to those strict aspects. There definitely are those people there, members of Hamas, certainly to an extent. I would not doubt it. But, there's a lot of people there who are, not in that camp, who just want to live and are having the hell bombed out of them. So like, they don't deserve, whatever happens. You don't have to cry a river for them. I'm not crying a river for them. I don't know them. I'm not their friends. I'm never going to meet them. I'm not like thinking about it every day. But obviously, it's not good to be like, oh, well, just whatever happens, happens. It's like, well, that's not really a good take either.
Is that Asman was overgeneralizing a large group of people, though others took their criticisms one step further. Hasan Piker and those in his orbit advocated for Asman to get banned on Twitch, and the two would debate each other shortly after.
There are absolutely a lot of toxic fundamentalists among the Palestinians, but also a lot of people just trying to get their work day done and take care of their kids. Yeah, exactly. And that's my biggest problem with that, the overgeneralization.
In this debate, Hasan would bring up a stream of Rashad al-Haddad, who many refer to as Timothy Chalamet. Hasan downplays who he thinks this guy is by saying he's just a Yemeni teenager comparable to Anne Frank.
I talked to a teenager from Yemen, okay, who everyone called, myself included, called Timothy Charlemagne or Chalamet.
Is that the One Piece one?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now this kid is like, I think he was like 19 at the time when I talked to him, which means that for most of his life he has withstood genocide, right? Like he is a person whose only experience is like, it's literally like talking to fucking Anne Frank, basically. Okay, being able to talk to Anne Frank.
Yeah, the guy who is on pirate ships, capturing civilian boats carrying cargo. That guy is like Anne Frank. Okay, that guy is just like Anne Frank. They're super comparable. Anne Frank, the young Jewish girl who was hiding from the Nazis, and this pirate, they're very similar. I see the comparisons. All right. I mean, at this point, just compare him to Jack Sparrow, okay? Luffy from One Piece, as Hasan says, right? They're the same guy. They're so based. Is that a mouse I saw in your room? No. You would not see a mouse in my room. That's not the case. There's no mice. Do not try to gaslight me into thinking there's mice in my room.
In real time.
The reason why Hasan has been getting backlash over that interview is because he never pushes back against anything al-Haddad said. It's not a journalistic interview, but instead a fluff piece where Hasan compares him to Luffy from One Piece. And now he's comparing the guy to Anne Frank, I don't think Anne Frank would post stuff like this if she were alive.
This is my thing. A lot of people are like, you can never platform this guy ever. You can never even talk to him. I think it is okay to talk to that guy. I think it's totally fine if you want to do an interview with someone. I just think you need to almost no matter who they are. You know, I would make very few exceptions for who you can interview. Like, I think it could be interesting to interview EDP, honestly, and get his side of things. But, you know, I don't think that what you should be doing is being like, oh, EDP, he's just, you know, a guy who likes cupcakes, haha, you know, and not laying out the fact that this guy is like a serial pedophile. Like, you have to be honest about who you're talking about, and you shouldn't just endlessly glaze him. You should be willing to ask hard questions. But Hasan is an ideologue, right? He's not a guy who wants to be critical of anyone, who's on his side or who plays into his positions. He's somebody who just wants to endlessly support them, basically, and that's what he does, which I don't really have a lot of respect for ideologues. Has anyone seen my good friend Brian Thompson? He hasn't been returning any of my texts lately. Sure, he's fine. Wanted to reach out. I don't know why my stream would have any effect on that. That's a nice huge bush you have there. Thank you. It is pretty big. It's nice. Stop telling me there's a mouse in my house. All right, Vincent, there's no mouse here. There's a difference between interviewing and endorsing. Yeah, but what Hasan did is endorse the guy directly. He did endorse him.
Live today. Many have claimed that Al-Haddad is a Houthi pirate, a terrorist organization with the slogan, "Death to America, Death to Israel, Curse be upon the Jews." A few would point out the hypocrisy of...
Yeah, this is a guy who's not anti-Semitic. Curse be upon the Jews. Well, you know, there's actually good reason for that. I mean, he's been oppressed his whole life, but he's not actually an anti-Semitic guy. He doesn't hate Jews. He just said he would curse them. You know, the curse doesn't really mean anything, guys. Like, you know, curses aren't even real.
...of Hasan's orbit, citing Twitch's terms of service, when many of them have broken them time and time again. The difference is that Twitch is massively biased towards far-left political streamers, as Twitch's CEO, Dan Clancy, has openly supported Hasan's behavior. Asman would get banned for 2 weeks, and made an apology where he owns up to his behavior. Denims would, of course, call out Asman, as she heavily dislikes the guy. I don't like Asman either, but her hatred of him is extreme. There are probably hundreds of streams where she bashes his content, way more than what should be normal. On October 19th...
And the ironic part about that, as far as like the actual content, is like, you know, Asmongold did have a very bad comment there. It was, I'm not going to defend him. I'm just not. You know, I've seen some people who are like, oh, he's actually right. I'm not going to defend that. No, it's not. But Asmon's actual content, as far as his reactions, are a million times better than Denims. Because Asman actually talks about things that, you know, he has some knowledge of or that he wants to add to, that he has some kind of opinion on, he wants to share. Denims, part of her streams is she literally just lets other people's content play. Like, what? She's not even there. Her camera's not even on. It's not even the case. But yeah, like, his actual content is far superior to hers in terms of, you know, what it is, in terms of the actual, you know, watchability of it, which is why his YouTube channel is huge and hers is extremely small.
Ethan Klein would bring more attention to the drama by uploading a video titled, "Twitch has a major problem." This problem that he's referring to is rapid anti-Semitism on Twitch, giving examples on both sides of the political spectrum. He points out that Twitch had just unbanned Sneeko and Myron Gaines, who both have a history of making anti-Semitic statements.
That was weird. I have to assume that's some kind of... I know Dan thinks it's intentional that they unban that, but it just, like, why even unban them? Like, why even unban Sneeko? Why unban Myron? Like, these aren't... They haven't, like, turned their image around and become, like, less anti-Semitic or less hateful. They're the same fuckers they have been the whole time. So it doesn't really make sense to me. Why'd they even do that? That's a crazy Myron tweet. There's a lot of crazy Myron tweets. This one tweet, he tweeted his address and said, "Black people come fight me," and then went on like this big racist rant. It was pretty funny.
He also mentions Hasan by pointing out his interview of Tim Houthi Chalamet and playing a terrorist propaganda video live on stream.
Man, Ethan, I've talked about it probably enough at this point, but what a mistake to ally with Hasan Piker, bro. What did he expect to happen? Like, what did you expect to happen when you do a podcast with a political extremist? What did you realistically expect to go down there? How do you think it was going to go? How do you think it was going to go when you have the guy who says that like landlords should be dragged out in the street and killed? When he says that America deserved 9/11, like what did you expect him to say? How do you expect that interaction to go? How did you expect his community being invited into your purview to go? You thought it would just be fine forever? Didn't work out that well, did it? You know? It made him into a better person in the end, though, realizing Hasan and his fan base are insane. But the thing is, I don't know if it really made Ethan a better person. I mean, he's had some good takes, but I don't know that it really fundamentally made him a better person. Like, he's already, you know, in his, like, mid-30s or late 30s. I think he's 39. I'm not saying you can't change as a person by then, but, like, at that point, you should probably have it in your head that, you know, there's certain people you should associate with on YouTube and certain people you shouldn't, if you want to have, you know, a certain kind of community or certain kind of audience attracted to you. You know, just because he's had a few good takes lately. I've also seen a lot of claims that I don't know how real it is yet, but I've covered it on my channel. It looks like he's DMCAing some random subreddit that is mean to him because he's taking down their clips so they can't, repost his clips and criticize him, which I don't like. I don't like that. If that's real though, if that's real, I'm not. It could be an impersonator, so I'm not trying to make some false allegation. Would have to get kind of some clarification there. You're my background noise for Elden Ring. Nice. Yes, I do not want Hasan to get. I would not enjoy that. I would not enjoy seeing that. Not cool. For a can of Zin, Sir Tom, thank you. I appreciate it, bro.
He mainly focuses on an officially sponsored event at TwitchCon 2024, done by the podcast Arabs. The Arabs podcast is a failing YouTube channel hosted by Frogan, Caprice on Poppy, and their friend Raph.
Oh, 5,000 subs? Man, people aren't fucking with it, dude. How Arab are these Twitch streamers? What the hell is this channel? What is this, man? El Moral High Ground? Dude, one of my whole things is like, I don't like I don't like violence in general. Why would I be okay with someone in my comment section? Like, you can say it's a joke, but like, why would I be okay with someone in my comment section that's donating to me being like, would anyone mind if Hasan got, like, I'm not cool with that. Am I supposed to betray my principle just because I don't like Hasan? No.
Most of their videos struggle to make 5,000 views, and it's mostly just them rambling on about random shit nobody cares about. The reason why I mention that is because despite their irrelevancy, they were given their own Twitch panel. Obviously this is due to bias, as they have political opinions that the higher-ups at Twitch agree with. Joining them on this panel is a no-name streamer named...
I thought this was Atrioc for a second. I like Atrioc's videos. I thought this was him for a second. He kind of looked like him. Thank God, dude. Thank God I didn't have shit on Atrioc. Atrioc's... Listen, I know he had his controversy. I'm going to be honest, at this point, I don't really care. I like Atrioc's videos. The nest has fallen, true.
VO, and her good pal Denims. 4 of them are Arabic, which they use as a personality trait. It's a pretty boring panel for the most part, but at least the 30 people in the room seem to have fun. They do a tier list where they rank streamers based on how Arabic they are, which is really strange.
We brought you guys here today because we want to rank streamers on how Arab they are, or Arab coded. Okay. We know VO.
How did Twitch approve this panel? I do not understand to this day how this even happened. How did Twitch think this was a good idea? With Chevron, the oil company logo in the background, which, by the way, all these people probably shit on Chevron, and Capcom and like TwitchCon, like, how did this happen? What slipped through the cracks at Twitch to allow this panel to happen? A stream ranking people by race. If you do this on YouTube, you probably get fucking banned.
You are not Arab.
I'm
okay?
not.
You are Persian. Very nice. Thank you so much for being on this couch with us.
I'm Persian.
But
all right.
But we are going to tier list them, and we're going to need your help to discuss and figure out who can say Habibi and who can't.
And also, we have tiers. We have Arab, Arab coded. They ask permission to say Habibi. Like you got like a white guy.
By the way, love Sabra down here is code for Jewish. That's what that means. So they're ranking Arab, Arab coded, asks perms, thinks it's a slur, and at the bottom you've got Jews. Basically, is the way they're doing this. Like, this is like, I'm not totally on board with every criticism that's been made of all these people, but with this one in particular, it's like, what the fuck? Come on, bro. How did they think this was a good idea?
Guy's like, can I say it? Is it a slur?
Is it okay?
Am I allowed to? You know what I'm saying? And then you have thinks it's a slur, where it's like a white person that.
Is Frogan Arab? Genuine. I feel. I mean, she looks white to me. I wouldn't even know that she's, Arab or Muslim or whatever it is, unless she has this burqa on. Like, I wouldn't even know. I would have no idea. No, she's not. Where's she from? She just looks white to me. She's Lebanese. She's from Michigan. Lol. Okay.
Really, they're like, no, I'm not going to say that. I'm so sorry. And then love Sabra, which is they're not Arab coded at all.
Yeah, they're not allowed to say it.
It's basically like you can't say it, and if you say it, you're literally hate criming us.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a racial
hate criming us. You're hate criming us. Yeah, dude. You've been so oppressed. You've been so oppressed for being so Arab, for being so brown, dude. Everybody's shitting on you. These people all look white to me.
Based tier list, going from Arabic to white to Jewish, though they disguise this with jokes and dog whistles. And I don't use that term dog whistling loosely, because their use of the term Sabra is meant to seem innocent. It refers to a hummus brand many associate with Israel, though it also refers to Jewish people born in Israel. Just flip the races around and see how people would react. If someone made a tier list with the category might work at a 7-Eleven, these people would flip.
Yeah, or imagine if you did a tier list where it was like white people at the top, Asian people in the middle, and black people at the bottom. Like, imagine how that would be perceived. Not the most subtle anti-Semitism? No, it is not. It is not subtle at all. There's no subtlety. They're just, but the thing is, like, they thought they could get away with it because it's a Twitch-approved panel, and they thought that they just had the in, right? And at the end of the day, they were going to get away with it unless they had been called out. Twitch would not have banned them for this whatsoever. And to be clear, like, if you're going to do this on Twitch, if you're going to do this on any platform, like, my position is that you should be able to be generally racist on platforms. I think you should be able to speak your racist truth. Like with the guy we covered the other day who was like everyone's scared of black people. I don't think that guy should be banned, right? But the problem is like Twitch's inherent inconsistency. Like Twitch will ban you if you're racist towards certain groups, but if you're racist towards, you know, other groups, they're okay with it. They're totally fine with it. It's like that is the definition of racism. You know, to quote iDubbbz, either all of it's okay or none of it's okay.
Hasan and Austin show are placed in the Arabic tier, despite the former not even being Arabic. They then get to Ethan Klein, allowing the audience to boo him.
The next person is one of my favorite people, Ethan Klein.
I told you guys to clap.
This is a good reaction.
That was a good one. That's good. All right. Turn that up. Turn giraffe.
We all know where this is going.
Okay. I like how we're giving audience input. They're like, you know, fuck what you guys had to say.
Dude, where's the? You guys are missing a category for Zionist. That was a joke. That was just a joke in my.
Denims.
Notice how she says missing a category for Zionists. The obvious implication being, when she's not joking here, to be clear, I don't think she's joking at all. The obvious implication being, oh, the actual category is Jews, right? The actual category is Jews. What a bunch of hateful losers. Yeah, they are. And this is the most perplexing thing about Ethan to me. Like, you had to have known that this is how these people were before you invited them into your community, essentially, right? Before you started like talking positively about Hasan and all of his like lackeys on your stream. You had to have known. You had to have known how this is going to go. But yeah, like, you know, I want to feel sympathy for Ethan in this situation. And I don't like that they did this, you know, rather racist thing, I would say. But at the same time, like, you know, Ethan kind of invited this into his life. So what am I supposed to say? Like, I feel like you should have known. I feel like you should have known a little bit. And maybe in retrospect, he realizes he should have known for sure. Thank you,
obviously
Randy.
it's Love Sabra, right?
Yeah,
it has to be.
That's easy. That's
Definitely Love Sabra. All right, so there he
Are
goes.
we being messy?
Denims pretends to be joking, but she's called Ethan a Zionist before. Ask any of these people how Ethan is a hateful Zionist, and I guarantee you they can't give a good answer. Ethan is justified in calling this out.
Well, the reason is because he disagreed with Hasan Piker. And if you disagree with Hasan Piker, you are a Zionist. Okay? If you disagree with Hasan on anything, you are a racist, Zionist, homophobe. Like Ethan's takes, especially in the beginning, you know, in their entire, you know, debacle, the arguments they had on the Frenemies podcast, Ethan looked good in those. Ethan actually looked much better than Hasan. He did. He surprisingly did well in those debates, considering he's somebody who doesn't debate at all. I think he made Hasan look pretty fucking bad. He made Hasan look kind of sociopathic. Even if I hated Jews, they would still be annoying. That's a good point, Killer Moth. Even anti-Semites. As an anti-Semite, these anti-Semites have really made us look bad, guys.
I mean, the only other people in the Sabra category are Sneeko, Mike from PA, this guy, who I think is named Scootish, Asmongold, Jinxie, and Denims herself. Most of the people in that tier are included as a joke.
Yeah, why is Jinxie down there? And why is Sneeko down there? Doesn't Sneeko hate Israel? Why is he even there?
With the joke being that you don't want to be put there at all.
Should we make somebody in the audience mad or should we wait?
What?
What was that English?
They put Ludwig in Asks Perms. Oh yeah, you guys remember when Frogan, she shit on Ludwig because he donated like 10 grand to Palestine, but said he didn't want to force his audience to. He was like, I'm going to donate to them. You know, if you don't want to, that's fine. You know, I'm not going to force it on my audience, which by the way, that was actually a good take from Ludwig. And the one good take he has, well, I wouldn't say the one good take. He probably has, honestly, the majority of Ludwig's takes I would probably agree with. It's just when he talks about Hasan, I'm like, you're retarded. But like, because he donated and didn't make his audience do it or like tell them that they would be bad people if they didn't, because he didn't have a Jake Doolittle moment, Frogan said that he was a cracker and it was cracker behavior. Like, why would you ever be around that person ever? And to this day, Ludwig still, like, you know, with his behavior, he defends Hasan, despite the fact that this is one of Hasan's mods and one of his good buddies.
Yes or no?
What?
The what?
Yeah, do someone in the audience.
Or when he doesn't talk about Hasan. I mean, the thing is, I've seen a decent amount of Mogul Mail videos, you know, for research stuff. I've watched a few of them on my channel. When he doesn't talk about that kind of politics stuff, he's generally not that bad. Like, he's honestly, like, his videos are like, it's whatever, you know? It's usually slightly better research than the average, like, YouTube slot video, I would even say. It's just when he has to talk about any of his buddies that it's pretty bad, I would say. And I feel like if you're in that position where your friends are shitheads, you're better off just not talking about them rather than going out of your way to defend them. You're better off just not touching the subject at all. Ludwig is afraid of Hasan. I think he's definitely afraid of losing that connection for sure. Seems that way to me. I wonder if he'll ever respond to the claims about Hasan glazing. Probably not.
Mike!
Yeah. Mike.
Me personally, I'm putting him in Love Sabra.
Yeah.
Love Sabra.
Love Sabra.
Love Sabra.
Yeah. Love Sabra. Everyone clap for Love Sabra, please. Yeah.
Yeah, Mike loves Sabra. I would put it down there.
Sit down.
Sit down. This isn't an interactive show. What are you doing?
Security.
Security, please.
Security.
We got a heckler. Next is XQC.
Look at the fucking cringy laughing. They sound like witches. Their cackling sounds like an actual fucking witch. Mike from PA looking rough. It's not Mike, though. It's the thing. It's not even him. I thought it was Atriarch, but it's not. It's just some different dude. It's some other white dude. That's not Mike from PA.
Damn, they're kissing.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so mean. We should at least move him up one.
No, you love it.
Don't put him in the Sabra tier. That's too cruel. They make it very clear that the tier isn't desirable to be in.
I feel like
I don't mean it in a bad way, but I feel like he just likes Sabra.
you have.
Like, I feel like he goes to the store, he's like, oh, this is
See,
my
that's
favorite.
based.
We need to put it in Love Sabra.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
the
yeah,
other
yeah,
people are in there derogatory, but he's in there just like neutral.
Yeah.
Mike would call Tom a fascist. Yeah, I mean, that was the thing. They haven't done it as much recently as far as I've seen, but there was a big wave in which, you know, they were calling everything fascist. Even, I mean, Mr. Beard, you know, who's been, from what I understand, he's being friendly to some commentary channels right now. Back in the day, I tweeted this picture of Ethan Klein being really fat, and he called me, I don't know if he called me a fascist or said that it is fascist to be fat phobic, but he was like, you know, this is a fascistic way of looking at appearance standards and everyone's beautiful. And it was just like, will I accept the fact that probably being mean to fat people is a bad thing? No, I actually won't, because if you're fat, that is objectively bad, and you shouldn't be fat, you know? Should you hate yourself every single day and be like, you know, over it? I don't think you should, but you know, you should be kind of embarrassed when you look in the mirror and want to change things around, you know, if you can. Unless it's some like debilitating medical condition where you can't fix it, you know, if you let yourself get to the point where you're morbidly obese, you should really want to change that. The couch clip is too good. Skip to 917. Okay. I like how Mike from PA cringe is one of the first search results. 917.
Yeah. That just feels good. Oh my god. Feels good.
What did you just do?
It just feels good. What did you just do? Nothing.
Why is this couch now moved? Did you just hit the couch?
No, you just moved the couch back. I just nudged it.
It's like alpha male shit, dude. I can't think of anything more alpha than punching a couch. This stream looks profoundly boring. Yeah, I don't know who was watching these like IRL streams from Bad Bunny. I don't know who is actually tuning in for this content to watch them all hang out. But I mean, to their credit, there were a few good moments, and that was one of them. I had to reaffirm my masculinity. Yeah, you know, he was. I mean, you know, to your credit, you know, when you're a guy, as all of us boys know in chat, right? All us guys know, when you're a guy, when you're a masculine guy like us, you just got to punch something once in a while to remind everyone that you're still a man. You punch the nearest thing, all right? You punch whatever's closest to you, all right? I'll show you guys a good example of some alpha male shit, all right? Reaffirming your masculinity. Fuck the tree. Just feels good. It just feels good. It just feels good. It just feels good, all right? That's how you reaffirm your masculinity. You punch a couch, punch a chair, okay? Oh. It just feels good. It just feels good, guys, all right? That's how you be a real man, okay? All right? That's just how it is. We all know it. When you're a real guy, you got to just punch a tree once in a while, all right? Put him in a coffin, all night screaming and tossing. That's how it is. That's alpha male shit, as we all know. See these pit stains? Alpha male shit. Ooh, not gonna do that again. we're not gonna do that. That was a mistake. I've made a grave mistake. The chair didn't stand a chance, exactly, dude.
Jinxie loves Sabra, not derogatory.
Sorry. Sorry, Mike.
He's like, no, I really fuck with Sabra. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
That's why we put you on the Sabra category. Sabra's not hummus, dude.
You hate Arabic food, and that's why you love.
Dude, they could have put me on this list. I feel kind of left out. I feel kind of sad about it, you know? Like, I do like Sabra, especially, you know, when you go to, like, the gas station or something, you're at an airport, you're looking for a quick snack, and they've got the little Sabra thing with the little pretzel bites on top of it, dude. That's a real game changer, okay? That's a serious game changer. It's going to change everything. That's what you need. That's what you need. I love Sabra. Put me on, dude. Put me on. Come on, Denims. I need some viewers. I need some attention. All right. I'm kind of, I'm falling off, as we all know. Put me in. How long ago was this drama? I mean, this was pretty recent. This particular thing was in the past couple months. I want to say a month ago, maybe.
Sabra.
Yeah, true.
Ethan would bring up multiple times that this is a sponsored event, showing their blatant hypocrisy when it comes to boycotting brands.
Chevron, Capcom, and Samsung. Do you know that there is an Arab to Jew tier list happening in front of your sponsor? And you guys were so kind to sitting right in front of them. Chevron, Samsung, and Capcom. By the way, a bit of irony. I love that they're boycotting hummus and sitting in front of a Chevron logo. Like, yeah, I wonder which one's doing more damage.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even a lot of Twitch streamers are pretty cringe about this. Like, they'll shit on gambling, but they won't criticize Twitch for having, like, sports betting ads from DraftKings all over their website. Like, they'll be like, the greatest socialist of all time. You're so base, but then on your Twitch stream, you have ads from, like, fucking who knows what, right? Who knows what? Companies that certainly aren't in line with your anti-capitalist messaging. It's like, I thought you were living your values. Oh, well, Hasan just has to live, okay? He's a part of society. It's okay that he owns one of the most expensive cars of all time. It's okay that he has a very expensive house. He lives a very lavish lifestyle. That doesn't contradict his ideals at all. Eat the rich, guys. Eat the rich, except not the good rich ones, right?
Okay.
Even being charitable to these guys.
QT Cinderella talking about how bad OnlyFans is and then taking a Fansly sponsorship. Yeah, that's a good point as well.
It's still a lousy panel. Again, if the races were flipped around, the panel would have never been allowed to happen in the first place. It makes this part incredibly ironic.
I got called Mia Khalifa yesterday.
Okay.
Oh, that's true.
All right.
Yeah, no, you thought you got hate crime for like 20 seconds. And you were like...
I was like, I don't know how to... I was like, is this like a hate crime or is this like a compliment?
And I look at Frog and I was like, I wish someone walked by me and be like, oh, Leonardo DiCaprio, like... What? Okay, not that. Oh, he's creep.
The entire panel is...
No one's saying that about you, bro. No one's saying that about you. Why are they calling Leonardo DiCaprio a creep? Because he dates 25-year-olds? Is that why? Is that why they're calling him a creep? Ew. Ew. That guy's weird. That guy's odd. 25-year-olds are adults. That's true. You raise a good point. They are.
Is the epitome of safe edgy. The idea is meant to seem risque.
QT has a podcast with Hasan, so as long as the podcast is happening, Ludwig will never go against Hasan. The thing is, I don't even think he needs to go against him. Like, I don't think that's necessary. Like, if he's friends with him, like, fair enough. You're gonna, you're not gonna want to shit all over him, but, like, just don't defend him. You know what I mean? Especially when, the things he says contradict things that you'll criticize others for. Like, just don't go out of your way to defend him. Or if you're going to talk about stories, like, one of the most egregious Ludwig video I've seen, probably, honestly, was, I think it was the latest Mogul Mail, the Twitch Adpocalypse one. This video where he refused to even mention Hasan being a part of this. Like, he refused to even say his fucking name.
The channel must be 18 plus.
And then you check the comments and they're all like, Lud, you're better off not covering a topic if you have to tiptoe around so much to avoid offending friends. And then this guy's like, there's no adpocalypse. It's not happening. Just stick your head in the fucking sand. Like, all of the comments. And this is a video with 1 million views, right? This is a video with 1 million views. So realistically, there should be a lot of his fans who are here. And they're like, oh, I don't really care. I love Hasan. But literally none of them are doing that. They're all like, you're retarded. Even his own fans are like, man, what's going on, Ludwig? Not just that, he also edited the video from his stream to make it less critical of Hasan. That is true. In fairness, the edit he made was taking out a clip that apparently Mizkif asked to be removed, which Mizkif confirmed because it was Mizkif shitting on Hasan very slightly. So, I don't believe that Hasan asked him to take that particular clip out. If Mizkif says he did, I'll believe that. But I will say, like, the idea that he's covering the apocalypse and, like, doesn't even mention Hasan, and the only time he does mention him is that Mizkif said something about him. It looks extremely embarrassing. Like, if you're going to cover a story, if you want to defend Hasan's comments, go out and defend them. But at least include the fact that he is obviously a big part of this apocalypse happening in the first place.
But would never actually get them into trouble with their intended audience. The problem was that this panel escaped his intended audience, and is now being scrutinized by the same standards these panelists abide by. Denims would obviously respond to Ethan, live streaming her reaction to his video less than a day later. Her entire strategy is to just gaslight Ethan into making him sound crazy, while ignorantly laughing at or blatantly ignoring his criticisms.
That's
Jewish.
Dude, where's the...
What's the same exact thing she did with Keffels, right? With Keffels, she's like, oh, well, I won't criticize people on the left because it's not productive. I'd rather make fun of right-wingers. Mudahar was transphobic. She wouldn't even talk about any of the particular criticisms made of Keffels, which is like, to frame it even as criticisms as I'm doing it now is like kind of an insane thing. Like, it's not just criticism. It's not just like a normal, like, oh, Keffels did something crazy, right? We know who Keffels is. It's not like she just said something crazy. She was funding a website that sent HRT to minors, black market HRT, against their parents' consent. She was involved in these like weird Discord grooming instances with like minors being interacted with very oddly by adults, groomed into being trans. Like, it's very weird. Tom, you won't do the Charleston, but will you do the Luddy? How do I do the Luddy? Tell me how to do the Luddy. Are these people famous? Well, that's the thing. Most of these people aren't famous. Most of them aren't. Like, actually, like, if you want to use the word famous, like, let's check Denims' Twitch stats. I think she's the most popular one on this panel. So Denims' average viewers is 2,000, which is pretty decent for streaming. Okay, that's pretty decent. But she's the biggest one, I believe. Frogan Twitch stats. She averages, let's see here, 182 viewers. This is what it takes to get on a Twitch panel. 182 viewers. This is how you get to be on an officially endorsed Twitch panel. 182. She just has no right to be there. She's not popular. She's only known by people who hate her. She has no following. She's boring. That's the weirdest thing about this. Like, most of these people shouldn't even be on this fucking panel. They're not pulling in anyone. 182 is insane. It is insane, but it's because she is friends with Cutie Cinderella that she gets like up and coming streamer of the year twice in a row at the streamer awards. What, like, how do you get up and coming streamer twice in a row? How do you do that? How does that happen? They just shoehorned her in because she's their friend, and they just throw out anybody who's actually, an actual up and coming streamer. That's why I don't like the streamer award so much. It's like the perfect representation of like this Twitch oligarchy meme, which is just like this friend group that runs things. And it's like, it's total nepotism. Like, the merits of what someone does are completely disregarded. It's just who you're friends with. It's like Hollywood. Didn't Dan Clancy come out and say that there is in fact an apocalypse? I believe he did.
Where's you guys are missing a category for
How big is Hasan's viewer base? Pretty big. I would guess he's averaging 25,000 viewers. Hasan Abi Twitch stats. Let's see here. He's averaging 33,000 viewers. So that is a big streamer. He is a big streamer, no doubt. There's no doubt about that.
I forgot who said this, man. Zionist. That was a joke. That was just a joke in my... Stand up.
She loves it, dude. She loves the edgy humor. She's like me. She's like me, bro. Who sits down and watches these goons? Almost no one, thankfully. Almost no one. Almost no one's actually watching these people.
Why did he edit and show?
How does Hasan have that many viewers? I mean, there's a lot of politically brain-rotted people. He must be entertaining in some way. Like, there must be some good Hasan content. Like, it must exist. If he's that big, there must be something he's doing for that many people. For Frogan, it's obvious. She's boring, unentertaining. Once in a while, she has a bait clip that blows up. Or not bait clip. Once in a while, she says something absolutely insane that blows up. But who knows what else there is in her streams that we don't even see and hear about? Who knows what other crazy comments she's made that we haven't even seen yet?
Show everyone that his face fell. Why did he do that?
Because unlike you, Ethan can be funny.
Did he not watch the full context? Like, this is what I mean when I say, like, I feel bad for Ethan Klein because he falls for bait so easily. Like, I'm surprised that he's not like a lolcow to everyone around him, because you could send this guy anything and he will fall for it. Like, he's never looked into any of the stuff that he's talked about ever. It's why he's wrong about lots of stuff all the time. He doesn't... It's sad. Like, I feel bad for him.
Strangely, I only think he's wrong after he stopped being...
Dude, the comments over here are crazy. Bro thinks he's cooking. DGG fed him everything. He's the real Facebook boomer. They're saying he's the new Joe Rogan. What the fuck does he have anything in common with Joe Rogan? He probably hates Joe Rogan. I told someone I don't like Hasan, and they soy raged at me and said, why do you hate him? Because he's a proud Muslim man and women love him. I mean, the thing is, like, if you're a Hasan viewer, that is the take you're going to have. If you're a Hasan viewer, you're not going to, and you're like in that ecosystem, you're not going to realize why he's wrong about so much shit. You're not going to know what the misinformation he spreads, because he doesn't show it to his audience. He only shows little out of context clips when he responds to people. Because if he did show the full context, his audience would be faced with the fact that he is a retarded person. Like, if you exist in Hasan's fan base, he has built up this little cult following where they believe that any criticism of him must come down to racism, basically. And it's like, dude, nobody actually, Hasan looks white. I'm sorry, he does. Hasan looks white. People do not hate Hasan because he's Muslim or they think he's Muslim. Most people think he's white. His chat is so parasocial, it's insane. That's the case for a lot of Twitch streamers, in fairness, though, I will say. A lot of them have very crazy fan bases. Most of Hasan's viewers are really young. Honestly, I doubt they're that young. Like, I would guess the average Hasan viewer is probably in their early 20s, which, I mean, you know, is not as young as you would think it is. But the real pill is that, you know, no matter how old you are, you can still be. Age is not an excuse for intelligence. Age and intelligence actually have very little to do with each other, generally speaking. at least in these communities.
Being friends with Hasan. Let me remind you that Denims was a big fan of Ethan, but only changed her mind when Leftovers ended. She's mad that her community is being called out, so her only choice is to project. One of the two people on screen is a lol cow, and it's not Ethan.
Let's be real, guys. Let's just look at this optically. Imagine this flipped. Super Jew and colonizer on the bottom, right?
Guys, reverse the roles. Change the list into something that it's not. Not so funny anymore, is it?
Do you even understand what he's saying? Like, he's saying there's a double standard. He's clearly saying, like, if you did this to any other race on Twitch, you would be banned instantly. You would be shadow realmed. All these people would be talking about how racist you are. But because they're doing it to Jews and Zionists and, you know, Israelis, then it's okay. Then it's fine. It's like, really? Are you just intentionally misunderstanding his fucking point? Is this just being dumb on purpose? That's what's so frustrating about watching, like, Denims clips. Like, she's not even listening to what he's saying. Who drew your thumbnail? I did.
I hate hummus. Now replace hummus with Jews. Not so funny, is it?
But that's obviously the implication of what you were doing. You even joked about it being the real implication during the stream.
Yeah. Not so funny anymore.
What's your point there? That was just word salad, and nobody wants it. Maybe you should give it to Frogan. I bring this stream up because of this moment.
I'm Jewish. My dad's been a Zionist his whole life. When October 7th happened, he said, I loved Hamas, and now he's against Israel. Let's go, Dad. Let's go. Okay, Dad.
Yeah, thank God he's supporting a terrorist organization now. Thank God he went from supporting one side, killing a bunch of people, to the other side, killing a bunch of people. Thank God, dude. That's awesome, dude. Thank God. Wow. Now he wants violence on the right people. Thank God, dude. That's good. W. Let's go. This is like Frogan being like, peace. Don't use that word. That's not your word, dude. You don't get to use that. All right.
Denim, sit down and eat your sabra. Stop. Stop.
Oh, wait, your dad supports terrorists? Let's go. W dad. Like, what the fuck? I don't know how else you can interpret that.
Oh my God, dude. Her takes about Tectone are straight retarded, dude. Tectone is not even like a politically informed guy. He's like a relatively, I'd say, like, normie streamer who plays anime games, and he somehow managed to fucking clobber her over the head. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, bro. Like, how did you make yourself look worse than him? You're supposed to be a political commentator. You're supposed to be knowledgeable about this stuff.
This time, Twitch was under way bigger scrutiny. It turns out that Twitch had been blocking users from Israel from signing up for an entire year, and loads of clips from Hasan and friends resurfaced, showing them saying some pretty unhinged things. Frogan will get the spotlight onto her when this clip started making the rounds.
I have no pity at all for any fucking soldiers. Distress, thank you so much. I will never have any fucking pity for any fucking soldiers.
And, like, the super frustrating thing about this is essentially what Asman said, just to a different group. Asman said, I have no pity for the plight of Palestinians. I have no pity for Muslims. Sharia law is baked into their code. Therefore, whatever, right? Like, he was extremely overgeneralizing. And that's exactly what she's doing. She's saying, I have no pity for soldiers. None. Fuck them all. Unless they regret what they did. Unless they agree with me and watch my streams on everything. It's like, do you think there have been 0 justified military operations ever in the history of the United States? Is that genuinely your position? Frogga the Hut? Right? Why is she eating in every clip? I think it's, what do you mean how? How would she not be? All right? Winter bulk, winter arc.
U.S. military? Boo fucking who? I hope you get PTSD.
With Asman, at least he walked it back sincerely. She didn't. This is a crazy frame. My bad. I've seen a lot of pictures of Destiny that look like this.
I do the ones I'm like whatever about the U.S. soldiers are the ones that like acknowledge that like what they did was wrong. They didn't know back then. Whatever. You're a good person in my book. I'm like a Tom. Thank you so much for the 10 gifted. So the U.S. military that are like, yeah, like, you know, I did this back then, but now I know it's wrong. Like, I'm changed. Like, fuck imperialism. Fuck this. You don't deserve the PTSD. But like any other motherfucker, you're joining them. You're like, oh my god, I want my fucking Camaro, no student loans. Fuck you. I hope you get PTSD, and I hope you get no health insurance when you get back into fucking America.
The point, we're on this frame again. I'm just gonna leave it. The point I made when she said this, which I think is still a pretty salient point, honestly, and it doesn't take a genius to get this, is like, okay, if you're critical of the U.S. military, if you don't like certain things they've done, if you don't like, a lot of their operations or a lot of the recent wars, that's fair enough. And I think that is a fine take. That is, even in some cases, I think probably based. I'm not the most knowledgeable about this, but from my knowledge of certain events like the Iraq War, I would probably agree with you, okay? Or the war on terror, really. The war on terror is the big one, right? I would probably agree. The U.S. military should be criticized. But the idea that every single soldier is responsible for that, and that every individual cog in a massive machine that is the military-industrial complex, the idea that all these people are evil, and unless they feel bad for what they did, or unless they agree with your take about fuck imperialism, the idea that they deserve PTSD is insane. Like Frogan, sitting here eating her fucking goy slop, right? Eating her Uber Eats is in an extremely privileged position. She has had no hardship in her life, as far as I can tell. She is an extremely privileged person, right? And so for her to criticize people who joined the military for who knows why they joined, right? Maybe they needed a job. Maybe they thought it was the right thing to do. Maybe they wanted to defend their country after they saw that we got bombed in 9/11, right? The idea that all those people deserve PTSD is insane. It is fucking insane. It's like genuinely sociopathic, but that's the thing. Asmund acknowledges that he became sociopathic and he regrets his take. She does not. She's still on board with everything she's been saying. She made a very cringe walk back apology, which she did not mean at all. It was like one of the worst twit longer apologies of all time. Oiled up twerk off, who's winning, Frogan or Destiny? I think we both know the answer.
She get backlash for this, but chose to double down on the statement.
I hope you get PTSD, and I hope you get no health insurance when you get back into fucking America. And they posted it in my head. I'm like, based? Based?
Aren't you like in your 30s? Why do you like this? How old is she? She's like a little kid. How old is Frogan? She's 27. Well, she'll be 27 soon. That's crazy. For a 27-year-old obese woman who streams on Twitch, gets 182 viewers and has been dragged up by her bootstraps by all of her friends and platformed, right? Who's been given every opportunity, every exception, just because she's friends with the right people. For someone like that to make the comments that she's made is crazy. Come on, bro.
Like, am I supposed to be like I'm not walking back on it. I still fucking agree with it. Base?
Once getting even more backlash for this, Frogan made a statement where she triples down. She made it seem like an apology, but she only apologizes for a poor choice of words.
The U.S. military has conducted some of the most horrific crimes against humanity in the modern era in countries such as Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Lebanon, and Palestine. My anger is directed at individuals who are currently championing these war crimes as if they liberated my people. Where are those people? Who is doing that? Who is saying that? Are they in your chat? It's horrific and disgusting. The beginning of the clip was worded poorly, and I do apologize for that. Worded poorly. No, you meant everything you said, bro. Like, even Asmund wasn't like, I worded it poorly. He was like, I said something fucking retarded, and I'm sorry. He was like, I messed up. I don't want to have takes like that anymore. I was a complete psychopath. She's like, I worded it poorly. No, you meant it.
Words at the beginning of the clip. This comes off as fake and performative, as her regret only came after many rightfully bashed her for this. Of course, there are still people defending Frogan, including her good pal Denims. The two are pretty good friends, usually backing each other up once one of them gets hate. For instance, back in May, Frogan was getting shit on for calling Ludwig a cracker, and calling out how performative he can be with his philanthropy.
That's the other thing. Like, I'm sure that Frogan doesn't like Donald Trump. I'm sure she has a big problem with him. I wonder how self-aware she is of the fact that she is part of the reason that he won. Like, she directly contributed probably more than a lot of people on his campaign staff to him getting elected, because she hates white people. She calls them crackers, unless you behave like a good little self-hating white guy. And you fucking apologize constantly for slavery as if it's your fault, as if your ancestors or the ancestors of other people who happen to look like you, as if you're responsible for that, right? She hates white people, undoubtedly, right? When you hate white people and then a guy comes along and he says, I don't hate white people, vote for me. What do you expect to happen when a lot of the voter base in the United States is white? How do you expect that to go?
And if you guys got some extra bread, I would recommend you donate. But I won't throw it on you, you know what I mean? No thanks. And some people are gonna say that, you know what I mean? That's why it's the
This is a cracker take.
difference between like, hey, I can put my money where my mouth is, but I don't need to put your money there. I don't need to enter a debate about whether that's worthwhile.
I do agree that Ludwig is performative, but the way she chose to say it is such a bad look optically. One of those who criticized her was Tectone.
Was it really that performative though? Like, I mean, Ludwig is a performative guy, but I feel like if anything, it's not performative. Like to donate and then be like, I'm not going to make you guys donate. Like what's actually performative is to make it seem like everybody who doesn't donate is a bad person, or to like push it onto your audience, be like, you have to do this. You know, what's performative is like Casey Neistat's video, Hillary Clinton. I'll be voting for Hillary Clinton. That is performative. And also in general, like calling people crackers, like if you want to say that, I think you should be allowed to say it on platforms. But it is undoubtedly racist against white people, right? Implying that Ludwig has something to do with slavery. He has nothing to do with slavery. He has literally nothing to do with it. He's completely unrelated. He is a streamer white guy in the 21st century who plays Smash Brothers. Slavery was 150 years ago. Just shut the fuck up.
Who was part of OTK alongside Asmongold.
She's white too? Well, the thing is, like, a lot of white people are very self-hating. Like, one of the worst things I've ever seen is, like, these white individuals. There's a lot of, like, white liberals who do it, but a lot of white leftists do it, too. They're, like, extremely self-hating. They're ashamed of their race. You know, you'll hear them say, like, I wish I wasn't white because then I wouldn't be benefiting from a system that enslaves so many people. I just feel bad about it. It's like, shut the fuck up. It's 2024. That's so gay. The white guilt, yeah, literally.
Like, the only point of this is to farm outrage. Good God, fucking...
I don't even think it is just a farm outrage. Like, I think she does feel that way. She does hate white people, for sure.
Jabba the Hutt just causing issues for no reason, man. Jesus Christ. Good God, fatty. Fucking going on the internet causing problems rather than going to fucking Total Gym. Get a fucking grip, you disgusting piece of shit.
God, I couldn't agree more. Rogan's strategy has always been to say outrageous shit to get attention. She usually has enough fans to defend her from the backlash. But now, the amount of hate is way too much for them to ward off. Denim was only...
Yeah, because the thing is, like, these two clips, you know, the one calling Ludwig a cracker, what she said about, you know, soldiers deserving PTSD, those probably don't exist in isolation. There's probably tons of comments she's made like that. Like, these probably are relatively common statements for her, but she existed in this insular community for so long where she thought she could say whatever she wanted, so she wasn't scared of getting clipped. It wasn't a concern for her, right? But once she finally gets a little bit of backlash, she has a fucking mental breakdown about it. She plays the victim, says she's being mischaracterized. It's like, you've been saying shit like that on your streams for years. This is just when people noticed. People finally were paying attention, and it was one of the wrong guys that clipped you.
Response was this tweet. Yet another male victim of divorce court. Send your thoughts and prayers, everyone, so that he may recover one day. Many pointed out that he got divorced due to his ex-wife cheating on him and posting revenge porn. Denims says both are bad, as if calling someone fat is just as bad as what Freem did. She has no actual argument, and needs to bring up something unrelated about Tectone to try and get an own on him. Tectone is now going after Frogan for the PTSD clip, and Denims chose to make an even worse response than last time. She claims over and over again that Frogan did apologize, even though she did the bare minimum.
Straight up, okay, can I say...
The thing is, like, you don't even care that she apologized. You agree with her. You agree with her take. You think that she was more base before. You know she apologized to save face, and that's it. Like, you agree with what she said, and you justified it on this stream. And we're like, oh my God, your dad, we're in reference to Tectone's dad. She was like, what? He has PTSD, the military? Like, making fun of him continually? Like, come on, bro.
That I'm glad that Frogan did apologize for saying this, because it is, like, inflammatory, and, you know, we should try and be less inflammatory. And I think it's just saying you wish for them to get PTSD is just like a step too far, and it's very personal for a lot of people.
You agree with that? Come on, don't lie about it. You agree with that take, bitch.
Because a lot of people have dealt with PTSD or know people who've dealt with it.
Didn't Tectone get dropped from OTK because of this? You're thinking of a different situation, but no. I mean, to my knowledge, he was not dropped from OTK. He left OTK when his contract ended, but no, that's an unrelated thing. That's over the allegations made about him is what you're talking about. Please archive your old VODs and podcasts. Perhaps I will. But if you want the new ones, become a member on this channel.
And that's why it got as much traction as it did. And I think her response was very tasteful. I think saying fuck the troops is based as shit. I think saying supporting imperialism and thinking it's based, you can go fuck yourself. I think that's based as shit. I wouldn't have any problem with that. Okay. Actually, that's just being an American, all right? Telling people to go fuck themselves, that's an American quality, all right? But yeah, like, wishing harm is bad at most angles. Yeah.
Remember, Denims herself has a history of saying inflammatory shit, even wishing for someone to be. She clearly does not give a fuck and is just trying to morally posture. She then spends 20 minutes arguing with her chatters, before checking Twitch's terms of service to find out that veterans are indeed a protected class.
Twitch does not
Why do these people even try to be optical? I would much prefer if they were just honest with all their beliefs at the very least, because Twitch isn't going to ban them for it. They can just say whatever they want. So just say how you feel. Say how you feel. Say you think all soldiers should die. If that's your real opinion, just say it. Say that you hate white people. Just say it. You're not going to get banned for it, clearly. You know? Maybe Twitch will ban you once for like a day when they get a little backlash for it. Once the apocalypse is over, you'll be right back to normal, dude. So just say how you feel. Just be mask off. Don't be a coward. Be based, okay? If this is being based, be based.
Promote behavior that is motivated by hatred, prejudice, intolerance, including behavior that promotes or encourages discrimination, denigration, harassment, or violence based on the following protected characteristics. Oh, it does say veteran status. Race, ethnicity, color, caste, national origin, immigration status, religion, sex, gender identity, sexual orientation, disability, serious medical condition, and veteran status. I'm surprised that Twitch includes that in there. I don't feel like veteran status is the same as these ones.
Yeah, of course you don't. Of course you don't. Because you see everything as a racial issue. You see everything as some kind of race-related thing where anybody who's black, if they do something bad, it's not their fault. Anybody who does something gay, it's not their fault, right? It's because they're being oppressed by the white patriarchy. But anyone else, okay, if you're a white guy and you do something bad, fuck you. By the way, you're a cracker. By the way, you're racist. By the way, white privilege, L plus ratio. What do you expect?
I feel like these are immutable and veteran status is not immutable. I'm surprised that it's in here, but like I said, letter of the law versus the spirit of the law. I think if you're following the letter of the law and you're saying, well, Brogan, she violated the law. Okay.
Are you still doing the other subservice you were talking about, or is it just channel memberships? The other subservice, honestly, at this point, I think it would just be for the old VODs and the old Tomboys episodes. But I don't know. I think it would be kind of annoying to get everyone off platform to a different site right now. So I probably won't be doing an off-site thing, you know, for new VODs anyway.
Okay, she went after someone for their veteran status. She said people who are veterans who have committed war crimes should have PTSD. Okay, Twitch is also against bullying. Twitch is against bullying other content creators. By that letter of the law, then fucking Tectone should be banned.
Is she finally realizing that Twitch is like horribly inconsistent with her moderation and has no standard? Is this like the moment she's waking up and realizing that? Is this the moment she's waking up and realizing that the TOS is fucking retarded and a sham? Finally, she's waking up. She's having a good moment here.
Again, another false equivalency.
Wait, Twitch is inconsistent? What? Twitch inconsistent? I'm shocked.
Calling someone fat is not the same as saying all vets deserve PTSD. Tectone calling Frogan fat is the only thing she can really go after him for, since the rest of what he's been saying is pretty reasonable.
Well, also, like, she was just criticizing the TOS. She was like, I feel like there should only be immutable characteristics. Like, if you're, you know, being racist to someone, you shouldn't be able to do that, right? But then when he attacks a, you know, mutable characteristic, which is the fact that Frogan is morbidly obese and Frogan's making fun of that, then he's like, well, then she's like, well, Tectone's bullying her. Tectone's bullying her. Maybe Tectone should be banned.
Like, literally, like, this is against Twitch TOS. This persistent harassment and bullying of another content creator is against Twitch TOS. 2 bites ahead. She's always 2 bites ahead. He's literally, his page is just making fun of her. The past, like, 5 or 6 tweets have just been making fun of her and calling her fat.
Boo-hoo. This is all she has. It's pathetic. She'll make a hoot and hollerin' about her friend's appearance being...
Bullying is based. I mean, the thing is, like, if you're going out of your way to bully someone who's done nothing wrong, you know, I don't think that's probably not a good thing. Like, if you're just going up to some random person, like, just picking them out in a lineup and just being like, fuck you, like, I guess it can be funny, but generally that's probably not a good thing to do. I don't know if you should cherish that. But, like, you know, if Frogan, who hates white people, is shitting on all white people, if Frogan, who hates all soldiers, is saying they deserve PTSD, like, why does Tectone not have a right to call her fat? Like, why would she play victim to that?
Being made fun of, but will make joke death threats.
Also, arguably, like, this is calling direct hate for a content creator that is actively on their platform. And this will lead to more harassment to her as a creator.
She's never encouraged harassment. What? Harassment? No, dude. No. She's always been against harassment. She's always been against censorship. She's been based the whole time. She got harassed. Whoa. It's not good. You shouldn't do that. But like, you think harassment is based when it's against the right people.
Creator. Frogan saying, I hope they have PTSD. What, you think she's gonna like will it? Do you think if she prays to Allah, Allah will give all of those soldiers PTSD? Like, one of these is actually enacting real fucking harm. 30.
One of these is enacting real fucking harm. So Frogan makes a derogatory comment about a group of people. That's all imaginary. There's no consequences. Okay? Imaginary. Not spreading negative sentiment, not being, judgmental, racist, not being, well, I guess there can't be racist against veterans, but not being, generalizing, right? Not being prejudiced. But when Tectone does it against Frogan, it's like, okay, well, now you're encouraging harassment. Okay? That's harassment. What?
K to anyone who'll make this dipshit disappear.
And it's not like she's ever apologized for that or anything. She's openly bragged about saying it. Denims then watches Tectone stream and immediately casts down on what he's saying.
God, bro, it's like, fuck, man. Man, that shit pisses me the fuck off. I just like...
No, it doesn't. Shut the fuck up, dude. No, it doesn't. He's literally lying to his audience.
How? His dad's a veteran. Why would it not piss him off? If your father is a veteran with PTSD and people are saying that all soldiers deserve PTSD, why would that not piss you off? Isn't that the most natural conclusion ever? Isn't that the most natural thing that would happen? Is it not the most understandable position? Her arguments are so bad faith. It's not even just bad faith. It's like she's just like, her reality does not exist to her.
Little things that...
Tectone then describes his father's experience in the military, which Denims thinks he's fabricating at first.
My dad's deployed 17 times. My dad has served for over 40 years in the military. All my family has served. And seeing my brothers before the war and after the war, they became different people. My dad also has PTSD, and it's very awful to fucking see. And seeing him have to understand, like, what is okay and what's not okay to do. And, society just says, oh, well, you're not at war anymore. Just get over it. And then they come over and they have to relearn that they're safe now. They have to relearn that they're fucking safe.
What do you mean your dad had to relearn what was okay and what was not okay?
He was in a war. He probably watched his fucking friends die around him. These guys go to war, they get shot at, okay, with extremely loud guns. Okay, they get like hearing damage. They watch their friends fucking bleed to death on a battlefield, and then they come home and half their friends kill themselves because they can't take it. And you're like, what did he have to relearn? Yeah, humans aren't meant to go through war, okay? We're not meant to be subjected to brutal combat and battle. What do you mean, what did he have to relearn? Probably a lot of things. He probably had to relearn to brush his teeth at night without being scared that his encampment is going to get bombed. It's honestly hard to decipher if she has no understanding of PTSD or just goes all in on the drama. I mean, she has to know that PTSD exists. Like, she must, like, you don't have to be, I don't know a ton of people in the military, but, like, you have to know that it exists, right? So I think she's just ignoring it intentionally. She's just denying reality because it feels better to her and her audience to deny reality. Which, in fairness, she's pretty good at that if that's her job.
What does that mean?
To feel safe. Every second you have to take as a blessing, because at any time a mortar can drop next to you.
Like, why is she so confused? Does she not know what a mortar is? I don't understand. Why does someone in the chat say, was he beating your mom? What the... What? Someone in the chat here, my camera's covering it up. Someone in the chat here says, was he beating your mom? What the fuck are you talking about? Why would that be the assumption? Why would the assumption be that he's beating his wife?
Near you, your friends are dead. My dad was in the bathroom stall. Okay, he was in the bathroom with one of his best friends, brushing his teeth. One second he's brushing his teeth.
In the stall?
The next second, he doesn't know where he is. He can't hear, he can't see, and his friend is gone. As well as the majority of the flesh on his legs, as well as the entirety of his ear. Gone. Have you seen my dad? He's pretty much half robot at this point, in case you guys don't know. He's pretty much half fucking robot. Because a mortar hit the bathroom where he was brushing his teeth and killed one of his best friends.
Okay.
And to see some fat bitch go live on the internet.
Like, notice how, like, she's been so like not understanding towards anything he's saying. Everything he's saying is like made up in her head. But as soon as he says fat bitch, that like she's like, "You're gonna call her a fat bitch? Really? That's a bridge too far."
And say, I hope they get PTSD. What a horrible fucking thing to say. And now, it would be great if she ever does show true remorse and say, I apologize. That was a moment of ignorance.
She literally apologized.
Stupid for me to say.
But she didn't really. She said it was poor phrasing and then doubled down and justified her take. She's like, oh, I worded it badly. But like, you didn't just word it badly. Like, you said something really, really bad. The word, it's not like you can't word what you said better. You can't word that sentence better to like make it not mean what it means. It's a very distinct statement. I think soldiers deserve PTSD. I hope they have PTSD. I hope they have like trauma. Like, you can't reword that statement to mean something else. Like, that is in and of itself a very substantive statement.
Would be great. But
and notice how when he's talking, she has nothing to say. She just sits there with her arms crossed, trying to come up with some kind of argument, but she has nothing.
Instead, all I've seen is her doubling down. And
She
saying,
apologized.
No, you're misunderstanding me. What a joke.
Dude, these people are such fucking liars, dude. These people are such.
But she did double down. Like, are you just not acknowledging that? When she got backlash at first, she was like based. And then when she thought she might get banned, then she apologized in a very half-hearted, half-assed way. Didn't turn on the camera for it. Didn't do it on video. Did it in the most cliche, cringe influencer way possible, which is to make a twit longer, where she then justified her statements so she doesn't piss off her audience.
Disingenuous liars.
It's an absolute fucking joke. Like, when you fuck up, show remorse and apologize. But I hate people who shit talk America, who shit talk the uncomfortable things we have to do to maintain a society like this. And
these people are like, oh, the apology is not good enough for his fee-fees. And it's like, dude, you guys have mental breakdowns anytime someone criticizes a black person. You guys have mental breakdowns and call everyone racist anytime someone criticizes the wrong group, right? Like, if you make a joke about Palestine, these people have a mental breakdown. But come on.
And then still actively...
No, Denims, I think he's right. I now think it's Frogan's fault the soldiers have PTSD.
That's not what he's...
That's not what he said. Yeah, there we go, Rob's Media. That's not what he said at all. He didn't say that Frogan made them have PTSD. He just said what she said is horrible, which it is.
Saying, you disgusting whore. He's telling a heartfelt story, and all she can do is cast doubt on it and question its validity. She stares at the screen with a shit-eating grin, knowing she can't make a legit point against him. She has to resort to mental gymnastics as a crutch. And once again, Frogan barely apologized. She still tripled down on most of what she's saying. Neither Frogan or Denims have the ability to change. They will just keep doubling down because they hate the idea of actually owning up to their mistakes.
There's no point in trying to reason with this person. This is a product of repeat behavior. It's happened for years. It's repeat behavior, and it keeps fucking happening. There's no reasoning with this person. So just make fun of them and ignore them. That's it. Because you're not going to change their mind. And if they apologize, it's most likely because they actually got fucking caught. But
not your buddy Asmongold. Your buddy Asmongold, he meant it.
You're more than welcome.
But Asmongold got banned for 2 weeks and made a 20-minute video denouncing all of his claims. And like, I mean, I guess if you think that Asmongold is just a pathological liar, you can believe that personally. But when I watched his apology, like, he didn't make excuses. He like systematically, by bullet point, outlined everything he said that was wrong. He apologized for it. He didn't seemingly make anyone feel bad for him. He wasn't like, I don't deserve the hate. I don't deserve the backlash. I worded it poorly. He didn't say that. He said, what I said was bad. What I said was wrong. The words that I said were wrong. And it's not a phrasing issue. It's not an issue of how I said it. The issue is what I said. Like, Asmon was very clear. He was very distinct. He was very direct. She's like dancing around it. She's like, oh, what I said was bad, but what I was trying to say was this. And, you know, I may have worded it poorly, but I still feel like she justified it. He actually walked back all of his takes and apologized. These are two different things.
Asmon's only had one really big fuck up. You guys have had several. That's the difference. If Asmon says more insane shit, then you'd be right, but he hasn't.
Also, here's the thing, dude. Here's the thing, Tectone. Unless your dad was committing war crimes, she wasn't talking about your dad. She didn't say your dad should have gotten PTSD.
But she said soldiers should get PTSD and claimed that every soldier has committed war crimes. Like, that is the implication of what she said. She believes that the entire United States military and all their operations are war crimes in and of themselves. So she was talking about his dad. And if they didn't think there was any risk of being banned here or getting backlash Frogan would say, I was talking about your dad, and I hope he, I don't know, does something horrible or something. Like, she said all soldiers. She said all veterans. She didn't say, well, just the ones that did this specific thing at this particular military operation at this particular time. Like, that's not what she said.
I will never have any fucking pity for any fucking soldiers.
Any.
U.S. military? Who fucking who? I hope you get PTSD.
Both of these girls are liars, and are only here to cover for their shitty behavior. But soon, this behavior would finally come to bite them in the ass.
30-day suspension.
On the evening of October 21st, it was announced that all 5 streamers from the Arabs Twitch panel were given a 30-day suspension, that being Denims, Frogan, Vio, Caprice and Poppy, and Raph. The reason cited was that panel, which many thought was interesting. Why wasn't Hasan banned? He said way worse stuff than what was on that panel.
At least,
well, because Hasan is a huge streamer and he actually makes the money. Hasan makes the money. Hasan personally is friends with Twitch staff. They celebrate his birthday. These other people, well, you can just get rid of them because it's whatever, right? But Hasan, banning him would be too big of a statement. That would show that they actually don't like what he's saying, and they would never do that.
Patrick Henry College is like doing one good thing, which is that, like, if you have these fucking millionaire, billionaire WASP fail sons, at least taking them out of other colleges so they can only do date to other billionaire, millionaire failed daughters is, like, in some respects, you know, from a utilitarian perspective, of course, a little bit better. You know what I mean? Like, taking these guys and putting them in a pen with one another is ultimately getting them away from the broader society.
Well, him getting
like just justifying because it's happening to a rich girl. Is this a progressive take? Oh, from a utilitarian perspective, there are times when can be justified. No. Actually, no. Actually, that's not the case. By the way, Hasan is a rich son of a millionaire. Okay. He is a millionaire WASP fail son. Could have been an oil executive. Instead, he's streaming on Twitch to adults with child minds. Come on, bro.
Getting banned would cause way more of a stir, and banning those on that panel seemed like a compromise and a good scapegoat.
Can we redistribute Hasan's money? Well, you see, he needs it. He needs to have the Porsche. You can't, no. How else is he supposed to stream if he doesn't have a Porsche? If he doesn't live in the Hollywood Hills, how is he supposed to be a good streamer? It doesn't make sense.
Is nothing I can do. All I can do is just take it. Just like Caprice on Poppy and Frogan and everyone else that's getting banned in this.
I love the playing the victim. All I can do is just take it. All I can do is take it, man. It's so horrible. They're targeting us. Well, you finally got consequences that the rest of Twitch has been seeing for years for the crazy shit you've been saying. Wow.
Mass ban wave. That all they can do is take it. And it is like gross and unhinged and completely untrue. And I don't know what to say. Their goal is for you to stop talking about Israel's actions under the guise of fighting anti-Semitism. Twitch is playing along because they're an American corporation after all. Yeah.
Hasan will post links in his chat for fans to support these streamers during their ban, which many point out might be a TOS violation. Twitch has always been strict when it comes to platforming banned streamers, and this definitely counts in some way. One Twitter user wrote, "Shouldn't he do a fundraiser for, I don't know, Palestine and not his friends and mods? This isn't about Gaza or Palestine anymore. It's straight up a dick measuring contest and it's so vile."
Well, you have to understand, like, if you're donating money to Palestinians, like, what are you really doing there? What's actually going on? You're giving money to people who, you know, these guys claim need it. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's insane. You know, the people who actually need it are the streamers like Frogan, okay? Her and her 182 average viewers are changing the world. She is spreading the truth. She's making a real difference. Her talking to a bunch of people that already agree with their positions and only watch her because Hasan isn't online at the moment, they're doing a good thing, man. They're doing a really good thing, okay? Come on. They're on Twitch, dude.
Denims herself wouldn't respond for a few days, though finally made a few tweets. Not on her main account, mind you, her gossip account. Wanted to hop on and say thank you for all the kind messages and the support I've received over the past couple days. Look forward to a big stream when the ban is lifted. In the meantime, I'll be working on other content and maybe hosting some fun activities in the Discord. Then she joked, "One of the worst parts of being banned is not being able to chat with any streams, just lurking like a freak." The comments are mostly from friends, mainly just throwing support and asking for clarification. Why did you get banned? Not trolling. Made a tier list of who could say Habibi at TwitchCon. Once her ban was announced, XQC of all people would comment on.
It's funny how even to her friends and fans, she's dishonest about it. I guess maybe she knows it'll get screenshotted
on it.
I'm much impressed this person got banned. This person never gets banned. This Denims girl, she gets away with everything. She says the most unhinged shit. This is one of the most unlikable person I've ever met in my life. Chat, I'm not gonna leak private conversations off stream, okay? But I was at this party, okay? And this person is insufferable. Insufferable.
Uh-oh, private drama.
Holy shit. Brother, like what?
Dude, imagine being at a party, you walk in and Denims is there. That's gotta be a lit party, bro. That's the sickest party fucking ever. So sick. What was she saying at that party? I wonder what she was saying. Because the thing is, like, typically people who are crazy, you know, they'll still hide it a little bit when they're on live stream because they know that there are certain things they can't say. So what is she saying? If we've seen the shit that she says on a live stream, what is she saying at a party? What do you guys think she's saying? I'm really curious what her like to the point that XQC is like she's an insufferable person. The shit she said was insane. What is he talking about?
I think like a friendly convo. We're not even bantering or whatever. And she rips this like, oh yeah, and then she mentions like some lawsuit shit, like being on her side or whatever in front of me, and I'm like, oh brother, like if you actually read into this shit, you'd see that what you just said is just.
But she's on the side of XQC's crazy ex-wife? No way. Actually, yes way. Of course she is, because why wouldn't she have a bad take on everything? She's supportive of XQC's insane BPD ex-girlfriend that's been trying to ruin his life for the past few years. She sided with Adept. That's so funny. Why wouldn't she be, though? The thing is, like, if she wasn't supportive of him, I'd be like, Denims, are you doing... Or if she wasn't supportive of Adept, I'd be like, are you doing okay, Denims? Are you all right? Did something bad happen? I think someone needs to check on her if that is the case. If she ever has a good take, it's like she needs help. Someone needs to give her therapy. I don't know what XUC is really saying, but so #true. Thanks for the dono.
It's just incorrect. And it's just like, well, is it? Well, is it? I don't know that. I don't know that. That's just out of the story. I'm like, yo, what the fuck are we doing here, dude? Like, what the fuck is happening here? Like, actual vibe terror, dude.
Now, for those of you who don't speak retard like myself, I'll explain what he's saying. XQC says that when he first met Denims, she brought up the lawsuit he was having to deal with involving his ex-partner, Adept. Adept, if you don't know, is a gold digger who has made numerous attempts to claim money from XQC, even lying about them being in a common law marriage. He implies that Denims is in support of Adept, which doesn't surprise me at all.
Frogood is a nice girl, confirmed. Dude, if I made like an r/nice girls Reddit video again, and I put her in the thumbnail, it would probably bang. It would probably do super well. That would probably be hilarious.
He's the type of person to support other women, even when it's clear that they're a horrible person. Again, it's all about team sports with these people. Denims wouldn't really be active online because of the ban, which many made fun of. She got banned at the worst possible time, during the 2024 election. Truly a rip bozo moment. This is usually when these...
Damn. Well, not that anybody would even be watching her anyway, because they're all watching Hasan. If Hasan is live, there's no one watching Denims, dude. That's just not happening. The thing is, if you're like a lefty, like Twitch viewer, who the fuck out of all of them would prefer to watch Denims over Hasan? Who would prefer that? I think none of them. None of them. So she probably didn't miss out on that much.
Political streamers make the most money, though we missed out on that sweet, sweet content.
And the reason why she lost the Electoral College, and I said the only reason why it was a slight, very marginal chance for Kamala Harris, was because of the many failures of the campaign that I have been actively fucking communicating. Actively fucking communicating for months!
Maybe it's also because of the fact that, like, you guys partially represent the left and you're all crazy. Like, do you think you make the left look better when you're saying that you hate white people and calling them crackers? Do you think that's like getting left-wing white people to vote for you more? Do you think they're like, maybe I shouldn't be voting for that party that, you know, maybe I shouldn't be voting for the party that a bunch of them are saying that white people suck and that I'm like descended from slave owners when I'm not? Maybe that's like a bad idea. Do you think maybe that had something to do with it? Maybe. Possibly. Do you think maybe at least a few of them thought that? The right have crazies too? Yeah, no, of course, 1000%. But I don't think that them doing this makes them look better.
On November 9th, Denims would tweet, "Wanted to start off and say thank you for the overwhelming love and support I've received in the past 2 weeks. I also wanted to apologize for the radio silence after my ban. I'd also like to announce that there will be a big bombshell stream coming November 18th. This took so long to announce because I've been waiting to hear back from Twitch about my appeal, but it's obvious to me that they won't stand up for their creators against mobs of bad actors. Thank you again, and I'll see you all very soon.
I love the victim complex too, against mobs of bad actors. Mobs of bad actors. Why the thing is, like, Twitch has been standing up for you guys for years, so you should be probably on your knees sucking Twitch's dick if Twitch has a dick at this point. But like realistically, like what do you mean mobs of bad actors? People called you out for saying something dumb. You got shit for it. What do you expect to happen?
She then links to a donate page and a new Patreon account with no content on it. Denim's actual comeback stream will be on November 21st, and she actually reacts to the videos she's playing on her pre-stream show. Barely.
I don't really care about the Mr. Beast stuff. I just don't care. I already know how I feel about him.
Let me pause for a second here.
Let me guess. She hates Mr. Beast because he's a capitalist and he doesn't call out Donald Trump, or he doesn't call out he doesn't immediately give all of his money to Palestine. That's why she doesn't like him. She probably doesn't give a fuck about any of the allegations made against him. She's just like, well, he is a capitalist. He does make money. That's bad. He makes money and he doesn't drive a Porsche while streaming on Twitch talking about how bad capitalism is. So Mr. Beast sucks. Honestly. Great take.
Why do you guys think she dislikes Mr. Beast? Is it A, he's a capitalist, B, he's a capitalist, or C, he's a capitalist? You know what answer it is.
He's just a capitalist who produces YouTube slop to make as much money as possible. And it just so happens that sometimes his YouTube slop benefits people. But he wouldn't do it if it didn't make money.
I was watching this live and I was easily able to predict.
Interesting. Can we think of someone that might be that, like, kind of person? Like someone who, like, you know, once in a while maybe has a good take, but generally speaking is just somebody who's trying to profit from making a bunch of money. Like somebody's just trying to make a bunch of money off of giving takes online. Can we think of anyone like that? Like, I'm trying to think, like, is there anyone kind of similar? I can't, his name's like on the tip of my tongue. I don't know who it would be. Because there's someone who like claims to be a virtuous socialist, but in actuality is just making a bunch of money from retarded fans. Like, I don't, fuck, what's his name? I don't know. Maybe it'll come to me later, but yeah, I'll let you guys know. I'll do an update.
Predict what she was going to say. Now, I'm not going to be able to go through every single point she makes in the stream, but if you are curious, I'll link it down below. I archived a good 3 hours of the stream. She of course starts by shit-talking Ethan Klein, trying to label him as a hypocrite.
He doesn't care about anything except getting back at Hasan Piker. That's all he cares about. He's someone who
Thank you, Lauren,
call
for becoming a
Hasidic
member.
Jews dirty, which is something Ethan Klein has said. Doesn't care about anti-Semitism. He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, but Ethan's Jewish, so he can say it, right? He's Jewish, so he can say it. Hasan can't say it. Hasan isn't Jewish, but Ethan can say it, right, Frogan? Isn't that what you believe? Isn't that why, you know, if you're a member of a racial group, you can make jokes about it? You can make jokes about other racial groups even, but if you're white, you can't joke about any of it? Come on, man, be consistent. That's all I'm asking. Come on, bro. Did I call her Frogan? No, my bad. These people are just so... It's hard to remember their names now and then.
Fuck about it. He lives in his $1 million fucking mansion in LA.
Can't think of anyone else like that. $1 million mansion in LA. Who does that sound like? Who does that sound like? One socialist channel I support is Boy Boy. They do good reporting. I've seen some Boy Boy videos and they're actually pretty good. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I would agree with all their politics behind the scenes, but when they make pretty good videos. Obviously I don't like the thing that happened with Donut Operator, or Brandon Herrera. They kind of, were disingenuous with their whole video they did there. But I've watched a few Boy Boy videos where I've been like, that's not bad. That's pretty good. They did a really good video where they like infiltrated the CIA base. They did one about oil companies in South America and how, you know, kind of horrible they are. They even did a video recently that was like, I mean, it was a little, you know, they were very like ACAB in it, but they were basically criticizing this YouTuber who did a video with a cop, and it was kind of funny. Like, you know, to give them credit, like, they know what funny is. They do make funny jokes. They have interesting, good videos. To give them that, they do. Boy Boy makes tanky brain rot. What? I mean, I don't know how tanky they are. I haven't seen everything from them. But I've seen Boy Boy videos where I'm like, that's good. Like, dude, they did this video where they let me find it. They were criticizing oil companies, and to start, they decided to go to, I think it was Chevron's headquarters, and they started off the video by oiling themselves up and walking into Chevron headquarters and asking for a job. Like, that is funny. That is fucking funny. You can't deny that. Yeah, this video.
So you might have heard of Chernobyl or the BP oil spill or even Exxon Valdez. What if I told you that there's an even worse natural catastrophe in the Amazon that no one knows about? The craziest part is it was done on purpose, right? And the company that did this can destroy entire communities whenever it wants. It can like lock up anyone who gets in their way, and best of all, they don't have to pay tax. Now, we're talking about Chevron, and their headquarters are right behind this wall, right? Now, you might think we're here to cause a scene and be really annoying, but there's one thing you should know about us, is that we love power and we love oil. So we're here to get a job.
Like, this is hilarious. You can't deny that. This is fucking funny. Who else does this? This is like a great bit. This is fucking funny. Like, I don't know. I haven't seen every video they've made. I haven't seen everything they've done. You know, obviously, they did this thing where they went to Brandon Herrera to hang out with him, to do a video with him, and then afterwards they kind of like were like complete shitheads about it, just made fun of him and called him like a crazy gun nut. That's not cool. But like, this video is funny. This is funny, you know? It is.
Do we just go out with the lipstick? Just oil.
Like, this is an insane thing to do. This is insane lengths to go to. This is funny, dude. All right? It is. Sorry to say it.
He lives a very comfortable life. He is not exposed to any of this shit. He doesn't give a fuck. If he gave a fuck about any of it, he wouldn't personally engage in it. It is just to attack Hasan. That's what they care about. That's all they've ever cared about.
Denims brings up multiple old clips from Ethan where he essentially makes edgy jokes. Here's the main one she harps on.
Here we are in Nebra. And it's the home of the Jew. The Jewy Jew, not just as Jew like, you know, me.
This is like a 10-year-old video though, too. Like, this is a 10-year-old video where they're clearly making jokes. This is not like a politically motivated thing. Hasan is politically motivated. This is them just fucking around making jokes. Like, this isn't that bad, dude. Come on. Like, if you want to talk about Hasan's old jokes, talk about his old jokes. He meant those too. They weren't just fucking around.
Or Ela. But this is home of the super Jew.
The super
the
Jew.
You know.
This is a much better era of Ethan Klein. The super Jew. Bruh.
The dirty, grimy, jacket-wearing Jews.
Guys, he cares a lot about anti-Semitism. That's why.
Can you not care about anti-Semitism while also making jokes? Like, is that an impossible perspective? This person says this is fascist shit. Oh my God. He sounds like a neo-Nazi. He's a Jewish man. He's a Jewish man. What? His wife is from Israel. How is this fascist shit? I don't understand.
Why he's stalking these Hasidic Jews and calling them dirty. Because he just cares a lot about anti-Semitism.
The difference is that this video is...
Yeah. It's impossible to care about anti-Semitism if you've ever made a joke in your life. What the fuck are you talking about?
almost a decade old. Literally, it's from March of 2015. Most of these other clips are from around the same time period of the mid-2010s. The only recent example she brings up is the Ben Shapiro Holocaust joke. And guess what? Hasan Piker defended Ethan over it back when it happened.
Listen, he just said some shit about Ben Shapiro that conservatives are complaining about and crying about, because he said Ben Shapiro, who will be responsible for the next Holocaust, he just said he hopes he goes first in it, okay? And of course that understandably was weaponized by conservatives. Of course it was going to be weaponized by...
And the thing is, I don't know if Denims ever covered this, but if she did, this was at the time when Hasan was doing a collab with Ethan, right? At a collab podcast. So she would have 1000% defended this and just parroted whatever Hasan said, right? Every opinion she has is downstream of how Hasan feels and interacts with the world.
By conservatives.
And now it's being weaponized by the very same group of people who defended him all these years. Funny how that works. I don't think any of this makes Ethan a hypocrite, because he's not going after Hasan for past edgy jokes. It's because he believes Hasan legitimately holds some anti-Semitic beliefs. He went after the TwitchCon panel because those on it have similar beliefs to Hasan, and could be using jokes to disguise genuine hatred. Though of course she's still coping about that, and thinks she got banned because of a lie being spread by Ethan and those who agree with him.
The fact that Asmongold got banned for 2 weeks for calling Palestinians inferior and suggesting that he didn't give a fuck that they should be genocided because they're inferior, and the rest of us got a month based off of a lie?
But you didn't get a month for a lie. You got a month for a Twitch-sponsored event. A Twitch, Chevron, Samsung, whatever the companies were, sponsored event where you were being extremely racist. Like, that is what you got a ban for. Thanks for the Dono Zindler list. Like, that is what you got a ban for. You made Twitch look horrible at their official event. What did you expect?
Is a fucking joke. It's a total fucking joke. And this is... Dude... This is exactly what Hasan meant when he said...
I like watching her finally complain about Twitch's double standard when it affects her. I like that. That's funny.
Islamophobia is a-okay. You can throw as many Muslim or Arab creators or just Muslim or Arab people in general under the bus, and it doesn't matter.
But that he got banned. He had to apologize for it. He did a 20-minute apology video. What do you mean? It doesn't matter. He got banned. They banned him.
During this stream, she'd also cover the Twitch adpocalypse and watches Ludwig's video on the topic. If there was a competition for fence sitting, this video would win first place because, God, this video from him is terrible. But that's not what Denims dislikes about it.
All right, so there's currently in Twitch world a piss match, right? Hasan is blaming Asmongold for the adpocalypse for.
Okay, I think I've watched enough. I see why people didn't like the video. I see why people were frustrated with the video.
Is this the first thing I've ever agreed with her on? Because she's probably mad about the fact that he didn't defend Hasan enough, right? But what I criticized him for is that he didn't include enough context, at least, about Hasan to show that he is a part of the adpocalypse, whether Lud wants to defend him or not. Her problem is that he didn't defend Hasan hard enough. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's a little inaccurate. It was not great. Not good. It's not that it's fence sitting, it's that it's wrong. Which, like,
true.
Everyone's gonna be wrong sometimes. It's fine.
No, it's not. No, it's not. If this wasn't Ludwig, you would be saying that this is disgusting right-wing misinformation. But because it's Ludwig, you're fine with it, dude. Come on, bruh. Come on.
It's okay. It is what it is. And I'm a Ludwig fan. I like Ludwig, even if he's Elwig sometimes.
Does she elaborate on why the video is wrong? No. She barely reacts to it, and maybe pauses it like 3 times. I think it's a bad video because Ludwig doesn't cover the core of why the adpocalypse started, because he doesn't want to piss off Hasan. Hasan got really mad the last time Ludwig covered him. A big part of this stream involves Denims reviewing recent allegations regarding Tectone. Now, just so you guys know, I'm recording this on the morning of the 22nd, and this is still a developing story. These allegations are first brought up on the 20th by Pinkychu, a VTuber and OnlyFans model. She claims that someone she was in a relationship with would sexually assault her. She never named anyone, but many automatically assumed she was referring to Tectone.
Yeah, I covered this in a video on my channel. I mean, basically the conclusion that I reached was like, it's a he said, she said right now. In the absence of any direct evidence, I have to assume that Tectone is innocent until proven guilty, you know? I'm not going to go out of my way to call her a liar and be shitty on the off chance that she is right and she proves it in the future, but at the same time, there's no evidence showing that Tectone did anything wrong, so I'm not going to claim that he did. What is Pinky Shoe? It's like an OnlyFans name.
Tectone would respond the next day, though didn't mention her name either, intentionally keeping things vague.
So, I am going to leave it at this. My lawyer is going to be contacting your lawyer, the same lawyer that I helped you get because you were scared. I'm not fucking around with this shit. This shit's retarded. If you want to do this shit, then let's do this shit. But I can't sit here and hear your dumbass schizo the fuck out, which I thought you were medicated for, I guess not. Schizo the fuck out repeatedly. So enjoy. My lawyer will be contacting your lawyer, and we're going to shut this shit down right the fuck now. Because this is ridiculous. I tried to be cordial. I tried to be nice. I tried to be happy. I tried to help you. And that's the way that you're going to repay me? Great.
However, this is still a he said, she said case, and neither side has given any evidence. It's just one person's testimony against another's, and they both refuse to name names. I don't have an opinion on this yet because it's still so new, and we need more proof from either side to make an informed decision.
True. I agree with that. Because you can't be informed in the absence of evidence, right? You can't be. Like, all I know is that she made a claim and said that he did something horrible, and he's like, I didn't do that, I'm going to sue you. That's it. That's literally it. So, like, past that point, there's no evidence that we can really talk about. We have no idea if he's guilty or not. That guy's bald. That's a good point. Got my merch, thanks. The packaging is awesome. Going to be an awesome attachment to my fleshlight. Well, at least you bought it, but damn. That wasn't the intention there.
Personally, don't think it's a good idea to have a super concrete take just yet, but this hasn't stopped those like Caseytron and Mike from PA from doing just that.
Yeah, of course. Of course they're going to meme it. They're going to support the allegations. Mike from PA, I read this in my video. He said that Twitch needs to do something to keep the community safe, implying that he should be banned, when there's no proof of anything. Like, you say the allegations, and then your conclusion to the allegations existing is, oh, Twitch needs to ban him. It's like, but it's an allegation. You don't know if he even did anything yet. And you're encouraging him being banned. Mike says he's got multiple credible accusations of sexual. Are you okay? What do you mean credible? What is credible about them? You don't have to call the girl a liar. You don't have to go out of your way to call her a liar. But like, you're saying they're credible? What is credible about them? Because she tweeted it? Does that make it credible? What the fuck does that mean?
With the amount of scandals surrounding OTK, I wouldn't be surprised if he is guilty of these things. Though at the same time, there is a possibility that Pinky Chew is lying for attention. I mean, how many times have you seen false allegations being spread online? Only for them.
The thing is, these allegations don't really have anything to do with OTK. Like, Tectone does happen to be a part of it, but with like the Adriana Lee stuff, like that was like a direct criticism of OTK as an organization. Like, this girl Pinky, she never said anything about OTK and what they did in this situation.
To get debunked after a short.
Does Mike know something we don't? Maybe. Thank you, Zindler List, for becoming a member.
While. And I'm also not picking sides because I don't follow either of these people. I just think Tectone has good takes regarding Frogan. Now with Denims, I do have to say that I agree with a few of her takes here. His response didn't do him any favors in the court of public opinion, though his anger could also be interpreted into frustration since he trusted this person. Pinky Chew previously defended him against Freem.
The thing is, like, you can criticize him and say it wasn't the best response. That's fair. But let's say hypothetically he is innocent. You know, obviously you're going to have an emotional response there, right? Like, if you're being falsely accused of doing something you didn't do, like, you're going to have a pretty emotional response to that. Especially when you're a streamer. You know, I think covering allegations on stream, responding is a pretty bad idea. I think you should just do it in a video, or not respond at all if you feel like you don't need to. But, like, realistically speaking, you're going to be kind of, you know, touchy and somewhat, you know, upset, maybe even a little bit reactionary when you're being accused of sexual assault, whether you're guilty or not. But in this case, we have no reason to believe he is guilty at all.
This shit ain't funny. This shit ain't cute. I can no longer help someone who is this fucking stupid. I can no longer try to protect someone that is this fucking stupid.
Ah, nice veiled threats there. Really painting yourself to be sympathetic here. You're really painting yourself for me, you're painting yourself as someone that I should sympathize with. I like it. I like it. Jared, thank you for the gift sub. Yeah, I'm not gonna fucking protect you anymore.
Who would betray me this much?
Holy shit, dude. I can't get over the abuser speak.
However, it's very clear that she's...
Is that abuser speak? I mean, it's only abuser speak if he's abusive, which we don't know if he is. If he's not abusive, then it's not abuser speak. It's just him being frustrated that somebody that he trusted a lot made a false allegation against him. And, like, keep in mind, I'm speaking all in hypotheticals here because we don't know, but she's acting like she does know. She has no idea. She wasn't there. Does she have some secret, private information she's hiding from the public that proves that he's guilty or something?
She's going hard on him because of her bias. She would never go this hard on someone on her side of the political fence, as seen with her coverage of Ava Tyson and Keffels.
All right, Mixo, whatever your name is in chat, says we got to get Denims banned. No, we do not. Do not report anyone on behalf of my streams whatsoever. Do not.
With them, there's loads of evidence. Denims also takes the Nick is not green route, and spends half the time poking fun at him for unrelated things. For instance, she makes fun of his voice.
So today, we are on Ari's account. Now, in case y'all don't know...
He made his voice less annoying.
A good main channel idea would be about Jadion. He had a meteoric rise and then deleted all his videos because he got deeply religious. I did cover when he deleted his videos because he got religious. I did talk about that. Jadion actually, he's reacted to one of my videos before. And not only that, but Brandon Buckingham, one of my good buddies, I think is friends with him, I believe. So it's possible that I would do a video about that, to be honest. It's not totally unrealistic, but I would do a video. I might be even able to get an interview with him. I'm not sure, though. He's a pretty big guy, so in terms of, like, audience, he's a lot larger than I, so I don't know if he'd be willing to do it, but yeah, it's possible that I would do a video about that.
I guess the comments got to him. I guess too many people making fun of how he sounds got to him.
Usually I wouldn't care, but this shows her real reason for covering this. To get back at Tectone for calling her friend fat. Despite these only being allegations, she treats Tectone like he's 100%.
What she's doing is defamation. That's not legally protected free speech. I mean, the thing is, like, take her to court then. Like, Tectone should just take her to court if that's the case. Like, we shouldn't be going out of our way to censor and ban people. Criticize her, shit on her, make fun of her, do that. Do not try to get her banned on behalf of someone you don't know. I'm not encouraging banning of anyone here. Do not. No.
Guilty. And there's a chance that he could be guilty, but neither I nor Denims know that for sure.
I assist everybody that I fuck.
Well, she knows that he's guilty because he's a chud. He's right wing, right? He wore a Trump hat.
Fucking know. The same people who I help the most end up fucking me the hardest. And it happens year after year after year. And everyone wants to pretend that I'm the bad guy. I'm done being the good guy. I'm locking this shit the fuck down. This shit ain't content to me. And enjoy that.
Oh, it's not content to you when people accuse you of things that you did?
Why does she say things that you did? You don't fucking know that. You don't know that at all. You have no idea. If you do and you're withholding evidence from the public, maybe you should release that if that would help the accuser. But you're not implying that. You're just accusing him of being guilty because you saw a fucking tweet and because you're politically invested in seeing his downfall. You loser.
You know that someone's innocent when they say, it's everybody else's fault and it's definitely not mine. I have been nothing but nice ever. And yet everybody is so mean to me. I will tell you for a fact, even when you are the victim.
What's she accusing him of? She is accusing him of, essentially sexual or right. That's what she's doing.
You've still done things wrong. I have been the victim of many situations, and there were things that I did wrong in those situations.
Do you have an example?
Okay, well, the thing is, when you're in the height of being, if we're to believe that he's being falsely accused, you're in the height of that, obviously, you're going to be upset, and you're going to be like, what the fuck, I'm being attacked here, right? You're not, in the moment, you're not going to be like, I realize what I did wrong here. You're going to be like, well, I'm being falsely accused, so what the fuck? And my biggest problem is not that she's if she would at least couch these opinions with we don't know if he's guilty, but this looks bad. We don't know if he's guilty, but the way he responded looks bad. That would be fine. But that's not what she's doing. She's definitively stating that she knows he did it with no evidence.
All of that, because not once have I seen Denims own up to any of her mistakes. And I'm very familiar with her history. She's only ever doubled down or acted the victim.
And by the way, to all of you people who are out there believing it with no source, with no proof, you should be fucking ashamed of yourself. Because you're the reason the internet's so fucked up.
True.
So enjoy that. Because I don't forget.
As Tectone, it's so fucking funny. You're not me. You're the reason why the internet is fucked up. You.
She's just laughing about falsely accusing someone. The thing is, she is falsely accusing someone, whether he ends up being guilty or not in the end, because she doesn't know. She doesn't fucking know. She just saw that someone said something, and because she doesn't like that guy, she's choosing to believe that. It is fucking disgusting. You principleless, spineless fucking wench.
She doesn't have any good counter-arguments for that. She can't conceive the general idea that someone would be willing to lie about serious allegations to garner attention.
I like how it's only been proven 100 times that women do not get clout from publicly talking about.
What do you mean disproven? You're talking about it giving her clout right now. How's it been disproven? And I'm not going to go out of my way to shit on that girl because she might be telling the truth. I don't know. I'm not there. I don't know Tectone. I don't know her. I'm not personally involved. I'm just watching from the outside. But as someone who's watching from the outside, I have respect for the fact that it could not be true because there are false allegations that are made. She's getting clout right now. You're gassing her up.
About their sexual assault. It has happened 0 times that talking about your sexual assault has given you clout. And they
0 times? You're doing it now! You're giving her clout now! You're doing it right fucking now! 0 times? What do you mean? You get a bunch of attention online for it. She got hundreds of likes on her tweets. What do you mean 0 times? 0 times ever? Really? You're such a fucking dude.
Still do this.
Making allegations public on the internet is done for clout. That's the whole point. Whether they're true or false, spreading allegations is meant to garner attention so that others online know that the person accusing is bad, and the person making them knows they'll get recognition from it. This is definitely up there as one of the dumbest things I've heard from Denims.
Update threads after recording. Tectone released a statement mentioning Pinky Chew by name. He claims to have evidence but has not released it yet.
I'm going to give a bit of a hot take. I don't think that TwitchCon panel was ban-worthy overall. It's a pretty shitty panel, and at the end of the day, I see it as unfunny and hateful, and it's pretty valid for Ethan to be way more aggressive with it, since his likeness is directly involved. But the core issue here is Twitch's inconsistency. Twitch has banned people over nothing, yet for years they turned a blind eye to political extremists and women doing softcore pornography on their site. Now that this is being called out, Twitch feels pressure to ban a select few in order to decrease tensions. Compared to some of the other shit Denims has said, this panel almost feels like nothing. I mean, she was banned for only a day for her take.
I would agree with that. I think the context of it being banned is important because, like, in a vacuum or in some alternate reality where Twitch didn't ban anything, I would be like, okay, whatever. But, like, the reason why they got so much pushback, the reason why Twitch got, so much pushback for that panel happening is, firstly, it's a sponsored TwitchCon event, which obviously, they're endorsing it directly. It looks bad. But secondly, because they refuse to fucking ban anything these people do and constantly ban people on the opposite side. Anyone who is not a fucking straight up tanky communist who thinks that all white people should die, okay? Anyone who's like that gets banned on Twitch every fucking day.
Regarding Osama bin Laden, and she never got a ban for placing a bounty on Grums. Speaking of which, it was announced that the FBI is now involved. They contacted Asmongold, thinking the statement was meant for him, though he declined to press charges. Grums will not be so sparing, saying he would be willing to press charges on her. If this does go anywhere, expect Denims to cope and claim, "Oh, it was just a joke, I didn't mean it."
You know what's crazy? Right after that old clip, she came into Asmon's chat saying it's all a joke.
I was like, girl, oh my God, bro, like, you're gonna come into my chat, what are you getting mad about? So can you see why that's not really a good thing to say, though? Even joking around about putting a hit out on somebody, saying I'll pay $30,000 to get rid of this guy, and I'm the one on the screen. Yeah, it was mean. Maybe you're gonna have to explain that to the police or Twitch or somebody. That this is not my problem anymore.
And of course, nothing happened, and Twitch totally ignored the situation. And even though Asmon said this,
yeah, I went too far. Yeah, this is like a felony.
Even as a joke, you really shouldn't be making statements like that. I mean, you never know if some deranged member of Denim's audience would actually be willing to do it. I mean, just look at our chat during the Tectone stream, man. These are all sociopaths.
Too few creators take responsibility for their followings. To be very clear, there's always going to be people in any following that are just going to be weirdos. It's going to happen no matter what. It's just the way that the internet is, right? Like, I'm sure that there are even people in my community right now, like a handful of people that are not okay, that maybe have engaged in questionable behavior, right? Like,
it's funny how she's willing to acknowledge that, but when it comes to others, like the political opposition, she's just going to call them all crazy people, right? She's like, why would you generalize my audience? There's a few crazy people, but it's not all of them, But then with anyone else, it's like, fuck all of you, right?
Sending harassment to other people, right? 30K to anyone who'll make this dipshit disappear.
My main issue of all
Lamau. Thank you, King Be Cruel, for becoming a member. Dude, this person's I didn't expect her to be this unlikable, because I'd only seen a few clips from her. I'd seen some of them from this video before, and I was like, all right, she's, I don't like her, definitely, but I'm not like, I'm not like a professional hater, but, I mean, just seeing this video, it's like, oh my God, bro. Oh my God, she's so fucking stupid. She literally has no real beliefs. They do not exist. With the Tectone stuff especially. Like, because she didn't like him, she's willing to just instantly believe that he is a or something. It's crazy.
This is that Denims would not afford the same level of charitability she gives herself and her friends. I mean, if Sam Hyde and MDE were running that exact same Twitch panel, she'd easily label them as Nazis and tell her audience to ruin their lives. When she and her friends do it, it's no big deal. They're just joking about hummus, guys. That word doesn't reference
well, because they're her friends and they support her politics. That's why, of course.
Anything else? This is just a plausible deniability tactic, meant to downplay direct responsibility of what she said, and it's something she and her buddies do all the time. This is the tactic Hasan has been using after many questioned his supposed support of terrorism, and I'm sure I'll get comments saying, oh, we don't know if Timothy Chalamet was an actual Houthi. Okay, does that matter?
His name is Houthi. His name is Timothy Chalamet. What is the question about it? Female Sneeko? I mean, the thing is, like, you don't even need to call her female Sneeko. She's just Denims. She is her own beast. These fucking political streamers are so stupid.
What matters is that Hasan thought he was a Houthi, and introduced him as such, and this guy has claimed on Twitter that he is one.
I DM'd him. Bro, are we about to have a Houthi rebel on stream? Yes, brother. What do you mean? Of course I'm about to have a... I'm a journalist, okay? This is journal.
I'm a journalist. Yeah, you're a journalist, bro, for sure. You're a journalist. Well, that was a good video by Rob's Media. He did a good job, as typical. I mean, there's things I disagree with, things I agree with, but overall it was a pretty good documentation of, I would say, probably one of the most unlikable streamers I've ever had the displeasure of coming across. And at this point, I'm, pissed off enough at what she said that I don't really want to watch her anymore, to be honest. I think we've heard enough. I think we've probably heard enough.